Chapter 47. The Hungwan mountain range was divided into areas according to strength. It was because beasts had to kill each other if they wanted to grow. Then, they had to devour each other's flesh and the phase guarded by each other. Only beasts that could survive under such a cruel law could gradually become stronger. Powerful beasts liked to walk into the depths of the Hungwan mountain range because the low-level beasts and the phase produced in the periphery couldn't satisfy their needs at all. No matter how much they ate, it wasn't beneficial to them. Just like Lin Yuan at this moment, this area no longer had any attraction to him. Only a few wandering level 7 beasts would be targeted by him. The phase produced were even abandoned by the system. Even if they were right in front of him, it was too lazy to prompt because even if Lin Yuan ate them, those low-level phase wouldn't provide any attribute points. Even Lin Yuan, who was at the peak of level 7, was like this. A level 9 demonic beast and an intelligent demonic beast were even more unlikely to appear in such an area. Therefore, the appearance of these two demonic beasts was definitely for another purpose. After thinking about it, Lin Yuan could only think of Batu, the mountain-shaking ape. Compared to himself, who had the system as his backer, Batu had a tribe that was enough to dominate the Hungwan mountain range. The growth limit of this kind of high-level beast was extremely high. At the same time, the fertility rate was also pitifully low. Even if Batu had lost the potential to break through to the intelligent state or even higher, the mountain-shaking ape tribe only sent it to the periphery, where it was more suitable for its survival. They definitely didn't intend to let it fend for itself. Otherwise, the friendship of the mountain-shaking ape tribe reward wouldn't appear in the mission reward. You will soon find out how stupid it is to threaten me with Batu. Lin Yuan flicked his tongue. Just now, the system still reminded that the two beasts were 1,100 meters away. At this moment, they had already appeared in the range of Lin Yuan's sense of smell. Their speed was so fast that it could almost be described as ghostly. Even with Lin Yuan's sense of smell, he could only capture two afterimages. Boom, boom. Two muffled sounds exploded like thunder. Two mountain-shaking apes appeared behind Lin Yuan. One was a level 9 demonic beast with a height of nearly 200 feet, which was around 60 meters tall. The other mountain-shaking ape was in the wisdom realm. The system didn't give an introduction, and its height couldn't be compared to the other one. It was only around 2 meters tall, which was smaller than a normal ape. However, Lin Yuan felt an unparalleled power from this mountain-shaking ape. It was as if the other party only needed one punch to directly turn him into minced meat. The mountain-shaking ape of wisdom didn't walk on its own. Instead, it sat on the shoulder of the rank 9 mountain-shaking ape. From time to time, it sized up Lin Yuan and Batu, who was evenly matched with a rank 7 martial artist. Its eyes even revealed a hint of impatience. Humans, since when did you dare to openly hunt down members of my mountain-shaking ape clan? The mountain-shaking ape of wisdom slowly opened its mouth and asked in an indifferent tone, "Could it be that you humans want to break the treaty and start a war with my mountain-shaking ape clan?" A fine layer of cold sweat appeared on the forehead of the rank 9 martial artist. A rank 9 mountain-shaking ape was already in existence that could be smashed with one punch. Not to mention, this rank 9 mountain-shaking ape of wisdom was also carrying a mountain-shaking ape of wisdom that looked even smaller than a normal ape. However, its body had already condensed a demonic aura. My lord, I just want to deal with this demonic snake." The rank 9 martial artist didn't dare to be rash. He knelt on one knee and said in a clear voice, "This black snake killed the experts of my Liu clan. It took the initiative to start a feud with us. My lord, please understand. What happened in this demonic beast forest can't escape my eyes and ears. You don't have to use the Liu clan to pressure me. Back then, if not, forget it. In short, if my clan's Bata dies, the entire mountain-blocking city will have to be buried with him. Not to mention the insignificant Liu clan that you speak of. Do you really think you're something?" The mountain-shaking ape of wisdom spoke once again. An incomparably domineering aura instantly filled the air. Under the suppression of this domineering aura, Even Lin Yuan revealed a hint of fear in his eyes. It wasn't the feeling of being suppressed in his bloodline like before. Instead, it was the feeling of a herbivore encountering a carnivore. It was a shiver that came from the depths of his soul. He even had a feeling of escaping from this place at all costs. After calming himself down, Lin Yuan put away the snake's forked tongue and stopped spying on the other party. He communicated with his mind. "Senior, this person has entered my territory. Killing him is my duty. There's no need for Senior to do it. Senior just needs to bring Bada to a safe place." A rank 9 martial artist and a rank 7 martial artist. In Lin Yuan's eyes, they were at least 3 attribute points. If he could kill these two fellows, he would be able to refine his 3-meter-long snake body. Even if he encountered something like the ring next time, with the protection of the Golden Body Sutra, Lin Yuan would never be forced to retreat again. The mountain-shaking ape, who was at the wisdom state, exclaimed softly and looked at Lin Yuan with great interest. Badu had been defeated by the Black Snake and had even become a subordinate of the Black Snake. When this news spread to the mountain-shaking apes tribe, it instantly became a disgrace to their tribe. Therefore, the matter of encountering a human attacking Bada today was actually just a coincidence. The ape's true purpose in coming to the demonic beast forest was actually to deal with this Black Snake. However, at this moment, it had changed its mind. A rank 7 martial artist was actually able to resist its aura and even communicate with it in an orderly manner. Even some of the demonic beasts that had just entered the wisdom realm might not necessarily be able to do so. Moreover, since when are spirit awakening demonic beasts able to communicate with other demonic beasts using their minds? It pondered for a moment and suddenly nodded with a smile. Although I don't know where you came from, since you have such strength in the spirit awakening realm, perhaps in the future you will be able to stand on the same level as me. You owe me for today's matter. As its voice fell, the rank 9 mountain-shaking ape suddenly stretched out its large hand and grabbed Batu, who was similarly suppressed by its aura, as easily as grabbing a doll. Then, it directly walked into the distance. Seeing the scene in front of him, a layer of cold sweat suddenly seeped out of the rank 9 martial artist's back. Lin Yuan and the mountain-shaking ape of wisdom were communicating with their minds, so naturally, he couldn't hear it. After the mountain-shaking ape of wisdom left, he let out a long breath of turbid air, feeling that he had picked up his life. Did you think that you had picked up your life? Suddenly, a cold voice resounded in his mind once again. Only then did the rank 9 martial artist wake up, as if from a dream. He instantly picked up his metal ring and summoned the cold wind to protect his surroundings. It was true that the mountain-shaking ape of wisdom had left, but there was still a black snake eyeing him covetously. Chapter 48. You're just struggling at death's door. Lin Yuan coiled up his snake body. A mocking look appeared in his blue-white eyes. In the next moment, Lin Yuan's snake body shot out. Under the horrified gaze of the level 9 martial artist, Lin Yuan's snake tail swept the level 7 martial artist into the forest. Strangle. Almost at the same time as he controlled the level 7 martial artist, Lin Yuan activated his skill without hesitation. Crack! With a crisp sound, the level 7 martial artist's face was filled with fear and unwillingness. Under Lin Yuan's immense strength, he was ground into a pile of minced meat. Ding! Congratulations to host for killing a level 7 wild monster. You have gained 1 attribute point. The system notification sounded again. Lin Yuan did not let go of the dead level 7 martial artist. Instead, he dragged the corpse and continued to wander in the forest. His snake tongue flicked out, monitoring the level 9 martial artist who was moving at the speed of a tortoise. Gulp! The level 9 martial artist swallowed a mouthful of saliva. His legs were trembling. The level 7 martial artist who was dragged away by Lin Yuan was the disciple he was most proud of. He was also a genius among the younger generation of the Liu clan in Mountain Blocking City, second only to Liu Hu. In the future, he would be the pillar of the Liu clan. It was said that the old ancestor of the Liu clan even wanted to marry a direct descendant of the Liu clan to him. Such an existence with a limitless future had died in front of him, just like that. As his master, his first reaction was not heartache, but uncontrollable fear. If he did not have a rare treasure to protect him, he might not have ended up any better than his disciple. Stop dreaming, demonic snake. You can't kill me. The level 9 martial artist forced himself to be calm and shouted loudly. With his reserves of true chi, it was impossible for him to walk back to River Blocking City from the demonic beast forest while in the state of activating his rare treasure. He might not even be able to walk out of the demonic snake's territory. Now, his only way out was to get as close to Mountain Blocking City as possible. If he could meet a team of powerful demon slayers on the way, he might have a chance to survive. After carefully walking for more than 500 meters, the black snake that had disappeared into the forest still did not move. The rank 9 warrior even began to suspect that the black snake felt that it could not take him down, so it had left the place. With the mentality of giving it a try, the level 9 martial artist stopped, instilling chi into the metal ring in his hand, and the biting cold wind dissipated in an instant. Whoosh! At this moment, a sharp piercing sound suddenly rang out. The rank 9 warrior almost subconsciously waved the ring in his hand and slapped the thing that was attacking him. When the ring wind blade came into contact with that thing, he realized that it was actually the head of his disciple that was attacking him. That fearful and unwilling eyes were staring straight at him, as if questioning him why he didn't think of a way to save him. However, this heart-palpitating gaze only lasted for a moment before the disciple's head was torn apart by the ring. The blood-stained ring appeared even more demonic, but this was clearly not the end. The moment the disciple's head was smashed apart, a colorless and odorless mist instantly spread out. F***CK. The level 9 martial artist narrowed his eyes and jumped back almost subconsciously. He had been practicing martial arts for more than 30 years and had killed countless monsters and humans. He was very familiar with the structure of the human body, so he was very clear that the colorless and odorless mist was definitely not something that came from a human's brain. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that a 25-meter-long python was actually a F***king venomous snake. This was simply unreasonable, okay? Just based on the size and speed of this black snake, not to mention monsters of the same rank, it could even kill rank 8 monsters. There was no need for it to evolve a poison sac and poisonous fangs to assist in hunting. Demonic beasts were very strange creatures. They were different from humans who condense their true chi and then let their true chi transform. Their strength was often reflected in their own evolution. For example, the strength of their bodies or some special abilities. No demonic beast would evolve an organ that they didn't need. This black snake was definitely a special case. The rank 9 warrior's thoughts came to an abrupt end here. This was because in the next moment, a burning sensation suddenly rose in his mind. In the blink of an eye, this feeling turned into a raging fire burning his body and skin. Under this kind of pain, the level 9 martialist subconsciously started to mobilize the true chi in his body to suppress the spread of the poison. Chi. The wisdom illumination mountain shaking ape, who was watching the battle in the distance, could not help but let out a sneer. The frigid winds of a 9th rank cultivator were nothing to it. All it had to do was use its demonic power to sweep them aside, and it would be able to easily behead them. No matter how extraordinary a spirit awakening stage black snake was, there was no way it could cultivate the demonic power of a wisdom stage demonic beast. When the black snake said that it wanted to deal with the rank 9 warrior, it thought that the black snake had some tricks up its sleeve. Despicable, despicable. The rank 9 mountain shaking ape gave a low, muffled evaluation. In the eyes of the monster race, who liked to use strength to determine who was superior, the black snake's methods could be considered despicable. Therefore, it had completely lost its good impression of the despicable black snake. Nachin, this is not despicable, this is smart. The wisdom illumination mountain shaking ape corrected the rank 9 mountain shaking ape and said with a smile, when you were rank 7, you could not do anything to that human. This black snake can think of such a method. Not only can it cause effective damage and quickly exhaust the opponent's chi, but it can also make the opponent die in despair. It seems that this new overlord has some dirty dealings with the Lu family or the human race. Otherwise, it would not torture its opponent like this. The scent of a demon slayer. Nachin did not respond to the Wisdom Illumination Mountain shaking ape's words. Instead, he pointed in the direction of the black snake. Humph! The Wisdom Illumination Mountain shaking ape snorted and said with a dark expression, "It seems that these humans have already forgotten how it felt to be trampled under our feet. There is actually a demon slayer who dares to violate the contract and enter so deep into the Hungduan Mountains. Let's go take a look and see who is so reckless." Although the incident of the Lu family hiring demon slayers to steal the mountain-shaking ape's cubs had been covered up with the deaths of those demon slayers, the furious mountain-shaking ape tribe had almost massacred the mountain-shaking ape tribe. They had forced the city lord of mountain-shaking ape to sign a contract that only allowed the demon slayers to move around the edges of the Hungduan Mountains and not approach the territory of the mountain-shaking apes. Who would have thought that in just a few years, a demon slayer would once again step into the forbidden area? Roar! Nachin let out a roar and casually put Batu aside. Carrying the Wisdom Illumination Mountain shaking ape, he ran in the direction of the demon slayer's aura. Chapter 49. Ding! A level 8 wild beast has been detected 1,000 meters to the west. Please leave as soon as possible. Ding! A level 9 wild beast has been detected 1,000 meters to the west. Please leave as soon as possible. Ding! An airborne realm wild beast has been detected 1,000 meters to the west. Please leave as soon as possible. Lin Yuan, who was lurking in the woods and slowly moving behind the level 9 warrior, was suddenly baffled by the series of system notifications. He didn't really understand what an airborne realm human meant, but after seeing the system add 3 exclamation marks to the words, "Leave as soon as possible," Lin Yuan felt a chill run through his entire body. The other party was probably a human who was no weaker than an intelligent mountain-shaking ape. Was this level 9 warrior really not destined to die? There was only one possibility for such a terrifying human to appear in such a place: the Demon Slayer Master. Lin Yuan's blue-white snake eyes looked up slightly. While his sense of smell was unable to tell what was going on over there, his sharp vision still allowed him to see a group of humans dressed in uniform approaching him. There were even hidden sentries among them. That was because the system notifications rang 12 times in a row, yet Lin Yuan only saw 8 people. Despite being 1,000 meters away, Lin Yuan was still able to smell a nauseating stench in the air. That was the smell of dried, demonic beast blood. Ordinary humans, even martial artists, would not wear clothes stained with the blood of demonic beasts when entering the Hungduan mountain range. Although it could deter some low-level demonic beasts, it would also attract the hatred of high-level demonic beasts. Moreover, the aura of demonic blood could spread for a distance of 1,000 meters. The clothes on this group of people were as if they had been washed with demonic blood. Aside from the fact that there were 2 airborne realm warriors in the group, the reason why the other party was so arrogant was probably because they did not care about the monsters in the area at all. Only professional demon slayers would have been able to do something like that. The sense of danger was like a mountain, weighing down on Lin Yuan right away. Lin Yuan lowered his body almost instantly. "Help! Help me!" The level 9 warrior who saw the Demon Slayer Master's group acted as if he had just found his savior. He quickly rushed to the group. Target confirmed. Carry out elimination. A man at the very front of the group of Demon Slayers said expressionlessly as he sized up the 9th grade warrior. At the same time, a valiant-looking woman with a red ponytail raised her right hand and revealed the hand crossbow hidden under her sleeve. Then, she pulled the trigger without hesitation. Whoosh! Puff! The sound of arrows piercing through the air and the sound of sharp weapons piercing through bodies rang out almost at the same time. Before the ecstasy on the level 9 warrior's face dissipated, his chest was penetrated by a silver-white crossbow arrow. With a look of disbelief and resentment, he fell to the ground with a loud bang. Witnessing this scene, Lin Yuan was as silent as a cicada in winter, not daring to move at all. This warrior of the 9th rank had thought that he had met his savior. He hadn't expected that the ones who would take his life would be these demon slayers. Removal complete. The woman put down her crossbow and reloaded it with another arrow. Then, she responded emotionlessly. Her posture was extremely calm, as if the one she had just shot wasn't a living human, but a wooden target for practice. Spread out and search for the black snake. The demon slayer at the very front of the group raised his right hand and opened his clenched fist. The demon slayers behind him immediately assumed a jumping posture. Boom! A loud noise was heard. The group of monster slayers stopped right away and covered their weapons with their palms. Their vigilant gazes fell on the level 9 ape of the mountain as it leaped towards them. Of course, the airborne realm human at the front of the group cast his gaze on the ape of the mountain on Nachin's shoulder, which was at Wisdom Realm. Mindu. The demon slayer at the very front called out the name of the Wisdom Realm ape of the mountains. A look of fear flashed in his eyes. Before reaching the Heaven's Strength Realm, the physique of humans was far inferior to that of monsters. As such, very few humans were able to defeat monsters of the same level as themselves without using any divine weapons. In order to take care of the exiled Batu, both Nachin and Mindu had been active in the border area between the Monster Forest and the Hungduan Mountains for the past few years. They were all monsters registered in the Demon Slayers organization. Of course, this registration wasn't to encourage the Demon Slayers to go hunting. It was to inform the new Demon Slayers of which monsters were near the Monster Forest that they couldn't afford to provoke. You recognize me? Looks like you're not a Demon Slayer from outside. Mindu was slightly stunned when he heard the other party call out his name. Then, he smiled in relief, but his tone became even colder. So, you humans are indeed planning to break the treaty and hunt in the Hungduan Mountains again. The area Lin Yuan was in was called the Monster Forest. It was said to be the periphery of the Hungduan Mountains, but it wasn't. The area where Bada's clan lived was the real periphery of the Hungduan Mountains. The Monster Forest was just a forest that grew around the Hungduan Mountains. Some low-level monsters that had no hope of reaching the Wisdom Realm were driven to live in the Monster Forest. It was the first line of defense around the Hungduan Mountains and also the main target of the Demon Slayers. As such, Lin Yuan and Batu, who were level 7 monsters, had the right to be kings of the Monster Forest. In the eyes of the monsters in the Hungduan Mountains, the monsters that lived there were just a bunch of cannon fodder and trash. Only Lin Yuan, who had obtained the system and had unlimited potential, and Batu, who had a powerful clan behind him, were exceptions. Yes, Master Mindu. My code name is Iron Hand, and I'm one of the top demon slayers in Mountain Blocking City. I didn't come here to fight against the mountain-shaking apes. I was only asked to come here to capture a black snake. We definitely won't enter the Hungduan Mountains, so please do us a favor, Master Mindu. The leader of the demon slayers bowed to Mindu and said in a sincere tone. There were 2 airborne realm experts in the team, but they didn't have much of a chance of winning against Mindu, who was at the Wisdom Realm. Furthermore, even if they could defeat Mindu, so what? Back then, the group of mountain-shaking apes was infuriated and had massacred the entire Mountain Blocking City. If they infuriated the mountain-shaking apes and caused the same tragedy to happen again, they would instantly become sinners from the lofty demon slayers. Humans have been fighting with us monsters for so many years. Do you think I'd still believe what you humans say? Furthermore, this is the territory of the mountain-shaking apes, Badu. There's no black snake here. Get lost. Mindu mercilessly asked them to leave. Chapter 50. Tai Shou and Mindu looked at each other for a long time. Seeing that Mindu had no intention of backing down, Tai Shou sighed helplessly. Then he turned around and walked in the direction of Mountain Blocking City. They had accepted the Liu clan's employment for nothing more than money. There was no need to offend the mountain-shaking ape clan. In any case, the Liu clan wouldn't dare to force them to do anything. At most, they would just return the deposit. However, Taisho didn't know that the black snake he was looking for already bore a grudge against him. Lin Yuan might not be able to successfully hunt a 9th-grade demonic beast. However, since they were both 9th-grade demonic beasts, it could be said that this human cultivator was already in his bag. After a while, he would be able to provide Lin Yuan with a considerable amount of attribute points. However, that arrow from the Demon Slayer Master had shattered Lin Yuan's dreams. Cutting off one's path to wealth was akin to killing one's parents. Therefore, Lin Yuan would remember this grudge. Lin Yuan wriggled his snake body and moved in the direction of the waterfall. There were no more targets to hunt here. Mendo and that 9th-grade mountain shaking ape were much stronger than him. Moreover, they didn't show any malice. Instead, they helped him chase away that team of demon slayers. Even if he was a poisonous snake, there was no reason for him to repay kindness with enmity. Not Sheen, let's go. Mendo looked at Lin Yuan from afar and smiled meaningfully. He suddenly had a strong premonition that this black snake would soon appear on the stage of the Hungduan Mountain Range's myriad beast competition. Perhaps, in the future, this black snake would become an existence that even he had to look up to. Hearing the thunderous footsteps of the 9th-grade mountain shaking ape behind him, Lin Yuan couldn't help but turn around to take a look. Was this the face of a high-grade demonic beast? From the moment he saved that girl, the Liu clan seemed to have been drooling over him. When the Liu clan thought that he was just a small snake with intelligence, they sent the 8th-grade Liu Hu to capture him. After Liu Hu failed, they even invited a team of professional demon slayers. It was obvious that they had spent a lot of money. Lin Yuan didn't know what he had that attracted the attention of the old ancestor of the Liu clan. However, today's incident had made him walk right in front of the gates of hell. If it weren't for the mountain-shaking apes scaring off the demon slayers, Lin Yuan wouldn't have been able to escape death, even if he was hiding underwater. If he also had such strength, how would the Liu family dare to have any ideas about it? Liu clan. A hint of fear flashed through Lin Yuan's eyes. The black figure was like a waterfall, disappearing into the majestic waterfall. 3 days later, mountain blocking city, Liu family. A man with waist-length hair that was half white and half black, a youthful face, and a pair of eyes that exuded a lonely aura stood up. He looked in the direction of the Hungduan mountain range with a gloomy expression. Patriarch Liu, this is what happened. We had just entered the depths of the demonic beast forest, and before we had the time to search for the black snake, the apes Nijin and Mendu appeared. You know the strength of those two. Let alone our Iron Will Corps. Even the top teams do not dare to rashly offend the ape. Therefore, we are indeed powerless in this matter. Patriarch Liu, please look for someone else. Please find another Patriarch Liu. Iron Hand said in a low voice as he cupped his hands towards the strange man. Mountain-shaking ape? The mountain-shaking ape is nothing. How dare a mere beast ruin my plans? Now that I'm about to master my divine technique, I'm only a step away from entering the Heaven Star realm. At that time, the mountain-shaking apes clan will be nothing more than a bunch of trash in my eyes. Captain Iron Hand, I'll leave this matter to you. If you can bring back the black snake, I'll double the promised reward. Even if the mountain-shaking ape comes for revenge, I'll protect you. Patriarch Liu crossed his arms in front of his chest and said in a gloomy tone, Forgive me for not being able to comply. Iron Hand cupped his hands towards Patriarch Liu and said in a low voice, This matter is beyond the scope of my ability. I return the deposit that Patriarch Liu gave me earlier. Goodbye. As soon as he finished speaking, Iron Hand stood up and planned to leave this place. Although Patriarch Liu's tone was very calm, Iron Hand always felt that Patriarch Liu was pointing at his nose and calling him a good-for-nothing. Moreover, Iron Hand always felt that there was a strange and cold aura on Patriarch Liu's body, which made him feel very uncomfortable sitting here. He wanted to leave this place more and more, as if Patriarch Liu wasn't a person sitting in front of him, but some kind of scourge. Quang, quang, quang. A series of loud sounds were heard. The door of this reception room was pulled shut by an invisible force in an instant. Even the sunlight was blocked outside. Was he going to shed all pretense of cordiality after failing to reach an agreement? Iron Arms stiffly turned around and saw that Lou family head had already stood up from his seat. In the dark room, he was incomparably conspicuous because his body was emitting a layer of incomparably gloomy green light, illuminating his face with a green face and fangs. You're definitely not human. Iron Hand's voice was trembling. No matter how tyrannical a monster was, he didn't put it in his eyes. However, Patriarch Lou's existence was beyond his understanding. Soon after, a shrill scream was heard from the living room. The strange thing was that the servants and retainers outside were all expressionless, as if they hadn't heard the screams at all. If one looked closely, they would discover that these people had numb expressions, and there wasn't a trace of spirit in their eyes, as if they were puppets. After a while, the wooden door of the reception room was opened again. His face was deathly pale, and his body was covered in blood. His body swayed as he walked out of the reception hall. The light in his eyes had already disappeared, and he had become a puppet just like the servants outside. He was still muttering something under his breath. Patriarch Lou, wearing a black robe, also walked out of the reception room. He took a white towel from a servant girl and wiped the blood on his mouth. His eyes were still gloomy, but there was an uncontrollable joy in them. An ordinary black snake had become a level 7 monster beast in such a short period of time. Even Lou, who, a level 8 warrior, had died in its hands. Moreover, it was now under the protection of the mountain-shaking apes. All of this already showed that the black snake was extraordinary. It was very likely that it was as he had guessed at the beginning. It definitely had the blood of the Dragon Clan in its body. In the future, it would be able to transform into a real dragon. If he drank the blood of this black snake, it would be of great benefit to his cultivation method. It could even help him cross the big hurdle that had troubled him for decades. Ancestor, this is the girl who had been saved by Lin Yuan before came over and brushed past Iron Hand, who was covered in blood, with a touch of surprise in her eyes. Chapter 51. This is the leader of the Iron Hand Demon Subduing Group, Iron Hand. He's also an expert that I've spent a lot of money to invite. He's about to enter the demonic beast forest to capture the black snake you mentioned before. Patriarch Lou placed his hands behind his back and said with a smile, "Oh, that's right. Leader Iron Hand just returned from the demonic beast forest and directly came to our Lou clan's residence. That's why he's in such a sorry state." "Oh." The woman nodded in confusion. Suddenly, her eyes lit up and she hurriedly asked, "Old ancestor, since you've invited the demon subduing master, could it be that there's already news about the black snake?" "There's news, but don't even think about taming it as your spiritual pet." Patriarch Lou said with a cold expression. "The first time I sent Lu Hu and Su Nan to capture it, everyone except Su Nan died at the hands of the black snake. Your uncle Wang Zhang and your cousin's betrothed, Yun Jie, also encountered the black snake in the demonic beast forest. In the end, they all died tragically at the hands of the black snake. With such a ferocious and untamable demonic beast by your side, it'll be a disaster sooner or later. This time, I've invited leader Iron Hand to eliminate this demonic snake." "How could this be? It clearly saved me last time. Old ancestor, did you make a mistake? The last time I saw it, it was just an ordinary little black snake. It's impossible for it to suddenly become so strong." The woman shook her head with an expression of disbelief. "Silly girl." Patriarch Lou patted the woman's head in a doting manner and said in a deep voice, "Last time, it might have been your misconception. Or maybe the black snake was already full, so let you go. I suspect that the black snake's origin is extraordinary. It must have cultivated a cultivation technique that harms people's lives to increase its cultivation. Otherwise, how could it have grown so quickly?" The dark clouds piled up together and covered the entire night sky. Not to mention the stars. Even the crescent moon in the sky was only a hazy shadow. "This is a pretty good day." Lin Yuan, who had poked his head out of the nest, sighed with emotion. Then, he plunged into the waterfall. The 25-meter-long snake's body seemed to blend with the water as it slowly flowed into the lake below. "Boss, you're looking for me?" Batu, who was still injured, carried a strong wild boar with his uninjured left hand as he sat cross-legged beside the calm lake. He was minding his own business as he tore off pieces of meat from the wild boar and stuffed them into his mouth. He chewed with big mouthfuls, completely ignoring the pieces of meat that spilled out from between his teeth and the blood that flowed down from his mouth. Almost none of the demonic beasts were vegetarians. Even a gentle water buffalo would abandon its habit of eating grass and become a carnivore after becoming a demonic beast. The main reason was that apart from some special spiritual items, most of the plants could not satisfy the demonic beast's needs. If they did not want to starve to death, they could only change their habits. Although he was clear about this point, Lin Yuan still couldn't look straight at Batu's ferocious table manners. "Yes, I'm going into the depths of the Hengduan Mountains. Are you coming with me?" Lin Yuan's thick snake body broke through the water surface. His blue-white vertical pupils stared straight at Batu. When he heard the depths of the Hengduan Mountains, Batu's eyes flashed a clear light, but this light quickly dimmed again. He replied in a muffled voice, "I won't go back. With my strength, even if I go back, I will only bring shame to the mountain-shaking ape clan." Lin Yuan was silent for a moment. The lake water beside him turned into an ice platform, dragging dozens of herbs up. Batu glanced at the herbs on the ice platform beside Lin Yuan, grinned, and said with a smile, "Boss, forget it. Although I don't know where you got so many spiritual items, they are of no benefit to my injuries. You should keep them for yourself. After all, injuries are common in that place. You have some spiritual items with you. Maybe they can save your life at a critical moment. You must accept these spiritual items. Although they can't cure your internal injuries, they're good for your external injuries. During the time I'm not here, I'll have to trouble you to look after my lair. You must not let any creatures enter my lair. Maybe the next time I come back, I will be able to find a spiritual item that can cure your internal injuries." Lin Yuan controlled the ice platform to land on the shore and gave an order without any doubt. Batu's 2 years of loyalty was given by the system, so Lin Yuan could trust Batu unconditionally. Moreover, in the past 4 days, almost all the beasts above level 6 in the vicinity were found by Lin Yuan through the system and became attribute points on his skills. Those beasts that were lucky enough to survive, although they didn't understand why Lin Yuan took the initiative to attack them like crazy, this didn't affect their instinct to seek benefits and avoid harm. They all moved away from this area. With Lin Yuan's lair as the center, there were no more traces of beasts above level 6 within 3,000 miles. If he wanted to improve further, he could only take the risk to enter the depths of the Hengduan Mountains where Wisdom State beasts roamed. Level 9 beasts ran rampant, and level 8 beasts trembled. "Don't die." Batu lifted its eyelids and seriously looked at Lin Yuan as it warned. Although it didn't think that Lin Yuan had the ability to cure its internal injuries, in the past half a month, Lin Yuan was the only beast that could communicate with it. Putting everything else aside, Lin Yuan could be considered half a friend. Moreover, he had never asked it to do anything. He didn't seem like a beast king at all. "If I don't want to die, nothing can kill me," Lin Yuan seriously replied. Then, he changed the topic and slowly said, "Later, build a nest for yourself by the lake. The spirit chi of heaven and earth here is much denser than other places. Also, if you want to eat, just eat. Don't make my place bloody. When I come back, I still have to live here." Batu foolishly scratched its head and smiled embarrassedly. It also knew that its table manners weren't very good. After eating for a while, it left a large pool of minced meat and blood on the shore. The pungent smell of blood constantly filled the air. However, this was also one of the methods that demonic beasts used to leave their scent in their territory. After all, such a strong smell of blood was much more useful than simply leaving their own scent. It was extremely effective in intimidating other demonic beasts. Even demon slayer masters didn't dare to step into an area with such a strong smell of blood, for fear of provoking a powerful demonic beast. Only an anomaly like Lin Yuan would do such a good job of cleaning his lair. Not to mention the smell of blood, there wasn't even any strange smell. Moreover, the spirit chi of heaven and earth was so dense that those who didn't know would think that this was a paradise. Chapter 52. Host. Lin Yuan State. Big Black Snake, Evolvable, Realm, 7 out of 10 talent. 1. Identify the enemy's position by smell. Cannot be advanced. 2. Form an accurate image of a 500-meter range around the body by smell. 0/103. Water/ice control. 0 out of 100 speed. 11 plus 2 defense. 10 plus 2 attack. 11 plus 2 assignable points. 2 martial arts. Golden body secrets. 12/25. Skills. 1. Strangle. 8 out of 102. Venom enhancement. 0 out of 103. Tail strike. 12 out of 100. Item. Light feather random system template X. 1 glancing at the attribute panel. Lin Yuan left the lake and slowly swam towards the depths of the Hongduan Mountains. Although after leaving this area, he will lose a total of 6 points of all attributes, but today his strength is not the same as before. With a 12-meter golden body here, even if it was Batu's stone rod, Lin Yuan will not be the slightest bit shaken. The 2 attribute points are not used, so that he can break through the realm of level 8 monsters at any time and anywhere. Coupled with the system's upgrade, all his injuries will be healed. Even if he encounters a very difficult opponent, Lin Yuan can guarantee that he can escape unscathed. Although the monster forest belongs to the Hongduan Mountains, the atmosphere between the two is completely different. Lin Yuan, who was slowly swimming, did not feel any change in the scenery around him, but the surrounding atmosphere is still inexplicably oppressive and dignified, as if there are countless pairs of eyes hiding in the shadows watching him. Hiss! Gently spitting out the snake's tongue, Lin Yuan's surroundings within 500 meters were all formed in Lin Yuan's mind. A bird about 2 meters long, covered in bright red, is on the tree above Lin Yuan's head, quietly watching Lin Yuan. 30 meters forward, there's a python whose skin color is almost the same as the trunk of the tree, with only 2 black eyes blinking slightly in the air. Its body is almost motionless. 160 meters to the left, there is a strong and colorful tiger with 3 tails. Ding, 15 meters above, there is a level 8 monster. Ding, 30 meters to the north, a level 8 demon beast has appeared. Ding, 160 meters to the west, a level 9 demonic beast has appeared. Please leave as soon as possible. Although he didn't know the names of these demonic beasts, Lin Yuan's eyes flashed with a meaningful look when he heard the 3 system notifications. Lin Yuan didn't know if he was lucky or unlucky. Just as he entered the Hongduan Mountains, he was targeted by a level 9 monster beast and 2 level 8 monster beasts. According to the system's prompt, it seemed that there were only 3 monster beasts in the vicinity. GG. The bright red fluffy bird on top of his head was the first to speak. Although it could not communicate with its mind, Lin Yuan could still hear the contempt in its voice. It seemed to be mocking him, a mere level 7 monster, for daring to enter the Hongduan Mountains to hunt for food. He was really reckless. Lin Yuan thought for a moment. He subconsciously wanted to retreat and change his route into the Hongduan Mountains. First of all, there were no monster beasts in other places. He could totally blend in. There was no need to fight with these 3 monster beasts who gathered together for some unknown reason. Secondly, after monster beasts entered level 5, they would awaken their innate abilities. For example, Batu's stone armor and his ability to control water. The python's ability should be camouflage. It was somewhat similar to the concealment skill given by the system. It could blend in with the surrounding environment and wouldn't move easily. However, once it moved, it would definitely be a thunderous attack. This kind of innate ability was considered useless among the high-level monster beasts. As long as one could go around it, it would have no way to deal with it. However, the bird and the tiger had not yet revealed their innate abilities, especially the bird. When Lin Yuan fought with the double-headed gray eagle, it almost left a psychological shadow. Without a suitable long-range method, facing this kind of flying monster beast, even Lin Yuan could only hold his head and be beaten. If this bird's innate ability was long-range, Lin Yuan might not be able to hold on until the stage of close combat. Whoosh! Just as Lin Yuan retreated, the bird on top of his head suddenly moved. Its 2-meter body was not worth mentioning in front of a huge monster like Lin Yuan. However, the moment it opened its mouth, it directly spat out a scarlet flame dragon. Fuck! Lin Yuan frowned and cursed. His abdominal muscles squeezed, and he also opened his mouth. He directly squeezed out the lake water stored in his abdomen and collided with the flame dragon. ZZZ. Ear-piercing sounds continued to ring. Lin Yuan's water column and the flame dragon canceled each other out. They turned into white steam and dissipated. For the time being, there was no clear winner. However, Lin Yuan was very clear that the lake water stored in his body was ultimately limited. The flame that the bird spat out should be some kind of energy from its own body. If this kind of energy was abundant, unless Lin Yuan could move the entire lake to this area, it would be impossible for him to fight a protracted battle. However, the remaining 2 demonic beasts clearly did not intend to let Lin Yuan fight a protracted battle. The 3-tailed multicolored tiger's 4 limbs landed on the ground. Its robust muscles exploded with power in the most perfect state. The distance of 160 meters was almost instantly crossed by it and appeared in front of Lin Yuan in an instant. It raised its thick tiger claws and heavily slapped down on Lin Yuan's snake head. Damn you! Lin Yuan closed his mouth and stopped his action of wasting time with a fire-breathing sparrow. He pulled back, but half of his snake head was still hit by the 3-tailed multicolored tiger's palm. In an instant, he felt the scene in front of him turn black and his head become dizzy. This was the first time Lin Yuan experienced the feeling of seeing stars since he came to this world. The 3-tailed multicolored tiger and the fire-breathing sparrow were actually cooperating. Shaking his head, Lin Yuan readjusted his fighting posture. His blue-white vertical pupils stared at the 3-tailed multicolored tiger's every move. He did not want to be slapped by an LV9 demonic beast again. Fortunately, the fire-breathing sparrow had already stopped spitting flames. It was unknown whether it was because it did not have enough energy in its body or because it did not want to accidentally hurt the 3-tailed multicolored tiger. However, it was still staring at Lin Yuan as if it was preparing for the next attack. A layer of blood appeared in Lin Yuan's vision. Although he could not see the extent of his injury, it was obvious that the 3-tailed multicolored tiger's palm had already smashed his head. Now that the red screen was blocking his vision, it should be the blood flowing out from the wound. However, the feeling of pain did not come for a long time. Lin Yuan even suspected that the 3-tailed multicolored tiger's palm had directly stunned his reaction nerves. Rumble. The sky suddenly lit up with a deathly white color. Then came the rumbling of thunder. A heavy downpour came at this moment, washing away this forest that was full of killing intent. Chapter 53. Ding. Detected that the host is in danger, triggering the special mission King of the Jungle. Name: King of the Jungle. Description: you, who have reached the wisdom state, have taken a fearless and ignorant step and arrived at the stage where the top predators compete with each other. Now, you are facing 3 strong opponents. Until the final moment, no one knows the result. Will you kill all your opponents or be torn to pieces by your opponents? From now on, no one can leave this battlefield. Please fight to your heart's content. Mission reward: 1 chance to shed skin. Failure punishment: death. Looking at the new mission, Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils were filled with killing intent. He didn't want to fight with these 3 monsters, but they didn't seem to want to let him go. Since that's the case, then let's fight. As the rain fell, Lin Yuan felt that he had obviously become stronger. Although the effect of adding 1 to all attributes brought by the rain was not obvious under the 2-digit attributes, at such a moment, Even one attribute point may determine the outcome of this battle. Golden Body Secrets. Tail Strike. Without hesitation, Lin Yuan turned his snake body and swung his tail, which had been tempered to a dark golden color, at the three-tailed multicolored tiger that had just given him a head-on blow. He wasn't a snake that held a grudge. If he had a grudge, he would take revenge on the spot. Seeing Lin Yuan counterattack with his snake tail, the three-tailed multicolored tiger's eyes showed a touch of human contempt. After all, it was a Class 9 monster. How could a Class 7 black snake compare to its physical strength? Therefore, the three-tailed multicolored tiger had no intention of dodging. It raised its tiger claws again and slapped at Lin Yuan's snake tail. Bang! The snake tail and the tiger claw collided, and the sound of the rain was suppressed for a moment. Under Lin Yuan's snake body that was supporting his body, black cracks like a spider web suddenly spread out. The three-tailed tiger, however, was unable to withstand Lin Yuan's tail attack and was sent flying out on the spot. It flew 30 meters away. The tiger claw that collided with the snake tail was already badly mutilated, as if it was crippled. Puff! Lin Yuan opened his snake mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. His blue and white eyes stared at the three-tailed tiger that was sent flying. He didn't have much of an advantage in terms of strength against strength. It was only the effect of the golden body technique that helped him avoid some of the damage, so he wasn't sent flying on the spot. The tempered dark gold snake body was fine, but the snake body that hadn't been tempered cracked inch by inch, tearing open hideous wounds. Whoosh! The fire-breathing sparrow opened its mouth again and spat out a fire dragon at Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan smiled contemptuously. His mind moved, and the falling rainwater instantly flowed backward. Layer by layer, the rainwater rotated to protect the icicle in the middle and directly hit the fire dragon of the fire-breathing sparrow. After all, the fire-breathing sparrow's fire dragon suffered from the weather. The power of the fire dragon was far less than before, and the amount of water that Lin Yuan controlled was far more terrifying than before. Therefore, in this collision, the fire-breathing sparrow couldn't even confront Lin Yuan. The fire dragon was extinguished, and the icicle directly pierced its chest and sent it flying. Come on, come mess with me. Lin Yuan roared angrily with his mind. The three-tailed, multicolored tiger stood up shakily from the ground. The bloody claw instantly healed, but one of its tails was missing. Seeing this scene, Lin Yuan's expression turned solemn. This three-tailed, multicolored tiger's innate talent was amazing. It was actually something similar to the nine-life cat, but it used one of its tails to heal one of its claws. Obviously, it didn't really have 3 lives to fight with Lin Yuan. The three-tailed, multicolored tiger stood up just in time to see the fire-breathing sparrow being sent flying. Without waiting for it to react, Lin Yuan's huge snake body burst out with agility that was completely incompatible with its body size. In an instant, Lin Yuan came to its side and opened his bloody mouth to bite the three-tailed, multicolored tiger's throat. Hiss! A cold snake hiss sounded. The python, which hadn't moved before, saw that Lin Yuan had the upper hand at this moment. It didn't dare to have the idea of reaping the benefits of a fisherman's fight. It twisted its huge snake body and coiled up. The two behemoths, both close to 30 meters long, intertwined together. Even as a level, 9 demonic beast, the three-tailed, multicolored tiger couldn't help but show a frightened expression. It subconsciously wanted to escape from this battlefield, but a black snake tail and a brown snake tail coiled around at the same time, directly pulling the three-tailed, multicolored tiger in. Even if the three-tailed, multicolored tiger tried its best to resist, leaving 2 deep and long scratch marks on the ground with its 2 front paws, it was still forcibly dragged into the center of the entanglement between the 2 pythons. Roar! A tiger roar filled with despair and unwillingness sounded. The three-tailed, multicolored tiger was strangled by the 2 pythons' twisting bodies. Its flesh and bones were directly twisted into minced meat. Even the hardest part of its head, at this moment, had been squeezed until its eyes protruded and its bones cracked. Clearly, it was not far from completely collapsing. Come, let's see who will kill who. Feeling the strength of the brown python strangling him, Lin Yuan's snake mouth continuously spilled blood, and even some broken pieces of his internal organs were also expelled. Whether it was the three demonic beasts taking the initiative to attack or the system's mission, Lin Yuan was ruthless. If it was in the past, he wouldn't be so crazy as to entangle and strangle a python that was about the same size as him. Strangle, strangle, strangle. The system's skills were activated again and again. Lin Yuan's eyes were blurred, and he had even lost his mind. He was only instinctively launching attacks. The black snake's scales rolled and cracked, and a large amount of flesh was directly squeezed out. One could even see the dense white bones in Lin Yuan's body. It could be seen that the battle was fierce. Of course, his opponent's condition wasn't much better. It was completely relying on its instincts to continue entangling with Lin Yuan. Under such an intense entanglement, Lin Yuan's proficiency of the strangle skill also rose rapidly. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The proficiency of the strangle skill has been stacked to the max. It has successfully advanced to death entanglement. Suddenly, an electronically synthesized sound from the system woke Lin Yuan up from his completely instinctive state. The brown python was still entangled with him. Clearly, it still had a chance of survival. He didn't know where this thing came from. Even the three-tailed multicolored tiger couldn't withstand the strangle power, but this brown python actually ate it all. Moreover, it was mercilessly returning the favor to Lin Yuan. You're not bad, but I won. After waking up, Lin Yuan coldly smiled and added the remaining 2 attribute points to defense. Boom! Lin Yuan's aura suddenly rose. In an instant, he went from a 7th-level demonic beast to an 8th-level demonic beast. All the wounds on his body also instantly healed. Chapter 54. Death Entanglement was an advanced skill of strangulation, so its power was naturally incomparable. Strangulation was just a technique used by snakes to use their own muscles. While entangling the prey, they would constantly contract their own muscles, using their strength to suffocate the prey and gradually make it lose its ability to resist. Then, they would crush the bones of the prey and completely turn it into a pile of rotten meat. However, death entanglement added another technique to the foundation of strangulation. It was somewhat similar to one of the crocodile hunting techniques that Lin Yuan had seen on TV in his previous life, death roll. After entangling the target, it would carry out a small but high-frequency tearing and crushing effect. Just by adding a way to use the muscles, the damage caused would increase exponentially. Hiss! A long snake hiss came out of Lin Yuan's mouth. It was not loud, but it was a long snake hiss. He was venting the emotions in his heart, and at the same time, he was announcing to the Hengduan mountain range that a new top predator had officially entered this stage. Shaking his snake body, Lin Yuan pulled his body away from the pile of rotten meat. His blue and white vertical pupils drifted as he began to search for the fire-breathing sparrow that he had severely injured with the icicles. The prompt for killing the prey did not sound, but the three-tailed tiger and the brown python were already dead. Even if the system determined that the three-tailed tiger was killed by the brown python, then after he killed the brown python, the system should have sounded with a notification and given him an attribute point reward. Lin Yuan thought for a moment and felt that the system should have not given him a reward because the mission was not completed yet. Thinking of this, Lin Yuan's heart also had a touch of fear. If he hadn't been awakened by the prompt of the skill advancement from the state of completely relying on instinct to fight, and if he hadn't reserved the attribute points to advance to the rank 8 monster beast in advance, then it would be hard to say who would win and who would lose between him and the brown python. Even if he was lucky enough to win, the bird that was hit by the icicle was not something he could deal with in his near-death state. After advancing to the 8th level, Lin Yuan's snake body had grown to an extremely frightening extent. The previous 7 levels of growth only added up to 25 meters, but the 8th level allowed his body to grow to 40 meters, almost catching up to the total growth of the previous 7 levels. Moreover, it wasn't just the length of his body that had grown. At this moment, his snake body had also reached the width of a large wooden barrel, which was about 2 meters. The current Lin Yuan was a true colossus. Logically speaking, the benefits of an increase in size were great. At the very least, it could provide more power. However, the drawbacks were also not small. For example, an increase in food intake, an increase in risk of exposure, and so on. He was rather envious of that wisdom realm mountain shaking ape. It was able to control its body to the level of an ordinary ape. He didn't know if it was an innate talent or some kind of high-level demonic beast skill. As he pondered, Lin Yuan wriggled his snake body and swam around the area designated as a battlefield by the system. The snake's tongue flickered continuously, and the scene within a 500-meter radius appeared in Lin Yuan's mind and was constantly being updated. Found it. Lin Yuan's slithering snake body paused for a moment. He lifted his huge snake head and looked at a towering tree in front of him. The bright red fluffy bird no longer had its previous appearance. At this moment, its feathers were completely soaked by the rain and stuck to its body in a mess. There was a scorched scar on its chest. Based on the visual observation, it should be Lin Yuan's icicle that had pierced through its chest. Then, it used flames to burn its wound in order to stop the large amount of blood from flowing out. The treatment of wounds by wild beasts was incomparable to that of humans. After all, in the jungle, even the slightest injury could cause a top predator to lose its life. Chirp, chirp. Seeing Lin Yuan's gaze fall on its body, the fire-breathing sparrow immediately cried out in panic. With its small brain capacity, it simply couldn't understand how things had developed to this point. 2 level 8 monster beasts working together with a level 9 monster beast were actually killed by a level 7 monster beast. Moreover, the level 7 monster beast had even advanced in the battle. Lin Yuan did not pay attention to the fire-breathing sparrow. His eyes were indifferent as he controlled the falling rain, turning them into sharp icicles that pierced through the fire-breathing sparrow's small body. Natural selection, survival of the fittest. This was the most basic law of the jungle. Whether it was in the past, present, or future, it would not change. Lin Yuan had already made the first move to retreat. However, the greed of these 3 monsters had activated the system's deathmatch task. During this period of time, this was the first time Lin Yuan had seen the system use its own power to interfere with his advance and retreat in a battle. Was it because the dove snake's bone had almost stolen its power? Or was it because Lin Yuan had chosen to retreat when facing these 3 monsters? In short, no matter which of these 2 reasons it was, Lin Yuan could be sure that the system was now very angry. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task, King of the Jungle. The reward is a chance to shed skin. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing level 8 monster Fire Sparrow. The reward is 1 attribute point. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing level 8 monster Deadwood Python. The reward is 1 attribute point. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing level 9 monster Undying Tiger. The reward is 3 attribute points. A series of synthesized electronic sounds rang out. Lin Yuan felt somewhat weak and limp. Although when he advanced, the system's power had healed all the injuries on his body. However, the feeling of walking through the gates of hell was not a good feeling. Lin Yuan's mind was now exhausted to the extreme. Opening his bloody mouth, Lin Yuan swallowed the fire sparrow on the ground into his mouth. Wriggling his oral muscles, he sent it into his digestive system. This could be considered one of the advantages of snakes. Because they only had venomous fangs, snakes would never tear apart a monster's corpse. Basically, they would swallow a whole, minimizing the drawback of the smell of blood. Although the fire sparrow's body was not big, it was after all a level 8 monster. The energy contained within its flesh was simply not comparable to that of a normal monster. Therefore, while continuously digesting the fire sparrow in his stomach, Lin Yuan could clearly feel a warm current flowing through his body. It was a bit similar to the feeling of the golden body secrets tempering the body. However, It was clear that even if Lin Yuan used all this energy to cultivate the golden body secrets, he would not be able to temper a 1-meter-long snake body. On the contrary, he might lose his mind due to hunger and rashly intrude into the territory of a powerful monster. When he was in a monster forest, it did not matter. However, in the Hengguan Mountains, Lin Yuan had no choice but to be cautious. The 3 monsters in front of him had already given him a vivid lesson. Level 8 and Level 9 demonic beasts were terrifying existences that could dominate the entire demonic beast forest. However, in the Hengguan Mountains, there were only weaklings at the bottom of the food chain. They could only gather together to hunt for prey. Chapter 55. The next day, early morning. In the outer region of the Hengguan mountain range, in a calm lake, Lin Yuan hid his 40-meter-long snake body under the lake. Yesterday, Lin Yuan didn't encounter any suitable prey. Apart from the first 3 demonic beasts, Lin Yuan didn't encounter any suitable targets. Even the corpses of the deadwood python and undying tiger were not eaten by Lin Yuan. This was because after swallowing the fire sparrow, he heard a faint sound. Although he didn't know what kind of demonic beast was approaching him, Lin Yuan was sure that it wasn't something that he could deal with. 2 Class 8 demonic beasts and 1 Class 9 demonic beast. Although they were only at the bottom of the food chain when they fought to the death, even Class 10 demonic beasts had no choice but to retreat. After Lin Yuan killed these 3 demonic beasts, he didn't even have time to eat before a new demonic beast appeared in that area. What did this mean? It meant that the other party was definitely not some weak, scavenging demonic beast. It probably didn't even put Lin Yuan in its eyes, so it directly swaggered over and prepared to devour Lin Yuan's spoils of war. Since even a clay figurine would have some temper, Lin Yuan very obediently retreated. After he left, the system's voice slowly sounded, telling Lin Yuan that it was a wisdom perception demonic beast. As for the lake that Lin Yuan was hiding in, it was also a temporary shelter that he found with great difficulty. Originally, there was a group of piranhas that occupied this place, but the strongest one was only a Class 7 demonic beast. After confirming that Lin Yuan was a water snake, they very willingly left this area of water. It could be said that it was quite realistic. At this moment, there were 7 bull-shaped demonic beasts that were close to 10 feet long drinking water by the lakeside. There were 4 bull-shaped demonic beasts that had already finished drinking water and were lying on the ground resting. From time to time, they would shake their tails to drive away mosquitoes. A total of 11 Class 9 demonic beasts. Lin Yuan resisted the urge to launch a sneak attack and quietly observe the herd. Yesterday, the Level 9 undead tiger had given him 3 attribute points. In Lin Yuan's eyes, these wild bulls were moving attribute point gift bags. However, Lin Yuan still had some self-awareness. He knew very well that 11 Level 9 mystical beasts were beyond his ability. Even if he could kill 1 or 2 of them with a sneak attack, he would be trampled into meat paste by the rest of the herd. Hunters were very patient, so Lin Yuan was waiting for a suitable opportunity to strike. The snake flicked its forked tongue out of habit, and another scene appeared in its mind. Lin Yuan suddenly became spirited. He was not the only hunter. In the nearby forest, 6 giant wolves with snow-white fur, each of them 7 feet long, had gathered at an unknown time. These white wolves looked travel-worn. It was obvious that they had been following behind the herd. In their scarlet eyes, there was no trace of greed. They seemed to be waiting for all the wild bulls to finish drinking water and rest before attacking. In the natural world, felines were the natural enemies of snakes because they had reactions that were not inferior to snakes. Although the white wolves were canines, they had agility that was not inferior to most felines. At the same time, they also had intelligence and cooperation that other animals could not reach. Lin Yuan was glad that he did not act rashly. Otherwise, if he disturbed the herd, these white wolves would definitely treat him as a substitute for the herd and devour him. Finally, all the wild bulls finished drinking water and lazily lay on the shore to rest. They seemed to know this body of water very well. They knew that the piranha demonic beasts in the body of water would not pose any threat to them. Oh, at this moment, the leader of the white wolves suddenly howled to the sky. It seemed to be a signal to launch an attack. At this moment, the wild bulls could not escape immediately, nor could they immediately get up to meet the enemy. It was indeed the best time to attack. 6 white wolves pounced out of the forest and attacked the 3 wild bulls in groups of 2. Lin Yuan, who witnessed all this, sneered. These white wolves were smart. The wild bulls that they attacked were also the older ones. For this kind of social animal, nothing was more important than the reproduction of the group. If the white wolves attacked a few young bulls, the herd of wild bulls would definitely fight to the death. But it was another matter when the white wolves attacked the old bulls. These wild bulls might give up the few old bulls that were entangled by the white wolves and retreat in order to ensure the safety of the young bulls. However, the next scene subverted Lin Yuan's understanding, because the herd of wild bulls that stood up did not intend to retreat at all. Instead, they launched a charge at the white wolves. What appeared in the eyes of the bulls was not fear, but the excitement of seeing prey. I almost forgot that there are no demonic beasts that are vegetarian. These wild bulls are food in the eyes of the white wolves, and the white wolves are also food in the eyes of the wild bulls. Lin Yuan calmed down for a while before he cleaned up the complicated emotions in his heart. This was the first time he saw a herd of wild bulls hunting a pack of wolves. Just as the 2 sides were fighting, Lin Yuan, who was hiding in the water, moved. His body, covered in black snake scales, suddenly broke out of the water like a huge shadow. Under the horrified gaze of one of the wild bulls, he directly bit its head and dragged it into the lake. His sharp, poisonous fangs pierced into the wild bull's neck, and without hesitation, he poured the poison into it. In an instant, the wild bull lost most of its ability to resist. Under Lin Yuan's death entanglement, it approached death step by step. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the level 9 demonic beast, Barbarian Earth Bull. The reward is 2 attribute points. When the system notification rang out, Lin Yuan had already started to devour the dead wild bull's corpse. It seemed that the Barbarian Earth Bull was far inferior to the undying tiger that was entangled by the 2 pythons yesterday. It only provided Lin Yuan with 2 attribute points. With the appearance of Lin Yuan, the battle between the white wolves and the Barbarian Earth Bulls became a little more complicated. Except for the 2 Barbarian Earth Bulls that were bitten in the vital parts and could no longer stand up, the rest of the Barbarian Earth Bulls had gathered together and were staring covetously at the wolves that were baring their teeth. At the same time, they were also afraid of Lin Yuan, who would emerge from the water again. I'm still not full. Lin Yuan couldn't help but sigh as he swallowed the Barbarian Earth Bull completely. After his body grew bigger, the requirement for energy had also increased by a lot. Even after eating the Barbarian Earth Bull, he didn't feel full at all. He was only 1/3 full, which was only slightly better than the fire sparrow he had eaten yesterday. Ripples appeared on the surface of the water once again. Both the white wolves and the Barbarian Earth Bulls became alert at this moment. This meant that the black snake had already eaten its prey and was preparing for its next hunt. Chapter 56. Lin Yuan, who was already on the surface of the water, saw the actions of the 2 sides and extinguished any thoughts of taking advantage of the situation. He opened the attribute panel and added a bunch of points. After all, there were still monsters that would die in his hands, and he had already accumulated 7 points. If he exceeded the current limit of 8 points, it would be a huge loss. Host: Lin Yuan status: Big Black Snake, Evolvable, Realm, 8 out of 10 talent. 1. Identify the enemy's location based on smell, unable to evolve. 2. Create an accurate image of a 500-meter radius based on smell, 0/103. Water/ice control, 0 out of 100 speed, 14 defense, 13 attack, 14 assignable points, 0 martial arts, golden body secrets, 12 out of 40, skills, 1. Death coil, 1 of 302. Poison enhancement, 1 out of 103. Tail strike, 14 out of 100. Item, Light Feather Random System Template X1 Lin Yuan was not in a hurry to increase the proficiency. After all, yesterday's experience had taught him a lesson. No matter what, he had to ensure that he had a chance to level up. At a critical moment, this could save his life. After adding the attribute points, Lin Yuan raised his eyes and began to size up the white wolves and barbarian earth bulls that were confronting each other. He was very clear that whether it was the barbarian earth bulls or the white wolves, they had regarded his sudden appearance as the biggest change in this hunt. Lin Yuan even suspected that if it were not for the blood feud between the two sides, they would have joined hands to deal with a lone predator like him first. Moo! The leading barbarian earth bull roared at the sky and glared fiercely at the white wolves. Then, it led the herd and slowly retreated towards the forest. You want to leave? Have you asked for my permission? Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils focused. He immediately communicated with the white wolf leader with his mind. Let's work together and kill these barbarian earth bulls. You can take 6 of their corpses, and I'll take the rest. The white wolf leader looked at Lin Yuan with a little more awe. After all, only a great demon of the wisdom state had the ability to communicate with the demon beasts of other races with his mind. Okay. Without much hesitation, the leader of the white wolves immediately agreed. Although there were only 6 white wolves gathered here, they were only in charge of hunting in a wolf pack. The 2 barbarian earth bulls were only enough to fill their stomachs. There were still she-wolves and pups in the pack that needed to be fed. It was extremely unwilling to let these barbarian earth bulls leave just like that. After receiving the white wolf chief's affirmation, Lin Yuan's thick snake body suddenly twisted in the lake, and a large amount of lake water was splashed out. While the water splashed out, Lin Yuan activated his innate ability without hesitation and turned them into ice walls, blocking the barbarian earth bull's path of retreat. Seeing that Lin Yuan had made a move, the white wolf leader did not intend to slack off. After all, it was a promise between demonic beasts. Even if it was just a verbal promise, both parties would honor it with their names. Suddenly, snow began to flutter between heaven and earth. Countless wind and frost wrapped together and turned into sharp blades that sliced towards the barbarian earth bulls. The other party was obviously not a fool. When they saw this scene, they knew that the black snake and the white wolf had joined hands. The remaining 8 barbarian earth bulls stomped their feet on the ground at the same time, and a yellow shockwave collided with the wind and frost released by the white wolves. The innate abilities of the 2 groups of demonic beasts intertwined with each other. Lin Yuan suddenly leaped out of the water, and his 40-meter-long snake body almost covered the sky as he fiercely landed on the barbarian earth bulls. The barbarian earth bull's leader maintained its posture of stomping its feet to summon the yellow shockwave. At the same time, it tilted its head and adjusted its horns, as if it was waiting for Lin Yuan to crash into it. Golden Body Secrets. Tail Strike. Lin Yuan seemed to have adjusted his posture as soon as the barbarian earth bull's leader reacted. His dark golden snake tail was like a steel whip as it ruthlessly whipped the barbarian earth bull's head. Moo! The barbarian earth bull's leader cried out in pain as it was directly sent flying by Lin Yuan's snaketail. The bull's head was badly mutilated, and even half of its horns were smashed by Lin Yuan. The barbarian earth bull's leader was stunned. Not to mention that Lin Yuan was only an 8th-level demonic beast. Even among 9th-level demonic beasts, it was rare to find an existence that could match its strength. However, Lin Yuan's snaketail directly sent the barbarian earth bull flying for 3 meters. Lin Yuan himself did indeed land lightly on the ground, as if he was not affected at all. Moo! The other 7 barbarian earth bulls also roared one after another, trying to help their leader. However, the 6 white wolves suddenly pounced on them and blocked the restless barbarian earth bulls. Once again, the battle that was interrupted by Lin Yuan just now began. Lin Yuan leisurely slithered to the barbarian earth bull's leader's side. His huge black snake body formed a U shape as he slowly raised his snake tail. The tip of his dark golden tail slowly pressed half an inch above the barbarian earth bull's head. Then, the snake tail suddenly sank down. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have killed the 9th-level demonic beast Barbarian Earth Bull. You have received 3 attribute points. The system's voice rang out the moment the Barbarian Earth Bull's leader died. Lin Yuan was also satisfied as he pulled out the snake tail from the Barbarian Earth Bull's corpse. Regardless of whether a demonic beast of the same level was strong or weak, it could only bring him 1 attribute point. Even the withered wood python that almost took his life was the same. However, when he killed a demonic beast of a higher level, the strength of the demonic beast could change the attribute points Lin Yuan received. This mechanism seemed to be the system encouraging Lin Yuan to challenge a demonic beast that was stronger than him. Moreover, during the life and death battle yesterday, Lin Yuan couldn't remember how many times he used Strangle against the withered wood python. However, he was certain that he didn't use Strangle more than 90 times. However, his proficiency level reached 100 points, and he completed a skill advancement. Could it be that the state of a battle between life and death could increase the effect of his skill training? While Lin Yuan was relaxing his mind, the White Wolves and the Barbarian Earth Bulls were fighting with their lives on the line. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils swept across the battlefield. His snake mouth cracked open, revealing an ugly smile. Barbarian Earth Bulls? White Wolves? Sorry, only children can choose. Adults want all of them. When the 2 groups of demonic beasts were both injured, it would be time for Lin Yuan to enter the battlefield and reap the harvest. Oh, the White Wolves turned their heads and howled. It seemed to be extremely dissatisfied with Lin Yuan's action of not helping them deal with the Barbarian Earth Bulls after killing the Barbarian Earth Bulls' leader. When Lin Yuan saw that the situation was about to end and that most of the demonic beasts were on the verge of death, he twisted his snake body and slowly approached the battlefield. When he arrived beside the White Wolves, Lin Yuan swung his dark golden snake tail and directly pierced through the White Wolf's abdomen. Chapter 57. Hot blood slowly flowed down the snake's tail. Lin Yuan's blue and white vertical pupils flashed with a touch of coldness. There were too many high-level monsters in the Hengduan Mountains. Except for the rabbits and birds, which generally had low bloodlines, almost all of them were predators. This situation was not what Lin Yuan wanted to see. A forest of demonic beasts could not satisfy his expanding ambition, so he came to a bigger stage. In Lin Yuan's eyes, all demonic beasts were just mobile attribute points or energy that could be used to supply the body for consumption and cultivation. The black snake's tail gently swung, and the White Wolf leader, whose eyes were full of anger, was heavily thrown out. It crashed into 2 big trees before it completely stopped breathing. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a level 9 monster, Frost Wolf. The reward is 2 attribute points. The system notification sounded in his ears, and Lin Yuan shook his head with some disappointment. This Frost Wolf leader that commanded 5 Frost Wolves should only be a member of a large hunting group. Its strength was not enough for the system to reward Lin Yuan with additional attribute points. Ding! System notification. The host killed Snow Fong of the Winter Wolf clan. The favorability of the Winter Wolf clan decreased by 15 points, and the relationship between the factions decreased to indifferent. Lin Yuan was slightly startled. He had killed a lot of monsters, but this was the first time the system mentioned the relationship between factions. The Hengduan Mountains is not like the monster forest. The predators that can be active here, in addition to their own strength, each have their own clan behind them. For example, Batu is a member of the mountain-shaking Ape Stone Shattering clan. Currently, the host's relationship with the Stone Shattering clan is mild. In the system's relationship model, there are 12 levels: mortal enemy, blood enemy, hostile, hatred, indifferent, neutral, mild, friendly, intimate, ally, and unswerving. Among them, the relationship between mortal enemies and undying will never change. At this point, they will either fight to the death or live and die together. Unless the host saves the other party's clan or does something evil that angers the heavens and the people, this level of relationship will never change. The system's cold electronic voice sounded, explaining this new relationship model. Lin Yuan was silent. This should be a template that came with the system itself. It was just that it wasn't activated in the monster forest. Other than Batu, this force template didn't have any meaning in the monster forest. Oh, moo. While Lin Yuan was distracted, the Frost Wolf and Barbarian Earth Bull attacked Lin Yuan simultaneously. However, Lin Yuan didn't dare to provoke a group of vigorous LV9 demon beasts, but Lin Yuan really didn't care about a group of exhausted or even wounded LV9 demon beasts. Tail Attack, Poison Fawn, Death Coil. Lin Yuan threw out the system's skills one after another. In just a short moment, the remaining 12 demonic beasts all had their bones broken by Lin Yuan. They lay on the ground whimpering. Even the 2 calves of the Barbarian Earth Bulls weren't able to escape. Although they couldn't provide the same attribute points as a Class 9 demonic beast, Lin Yuan had no reason to let them go. The phrase, raising a tiger is inviting calamity, applied to any place. After slowly swallowing the leader of the Barbarian Earth Bulls and the Snowy Fawn of the East Wolf clan, Lin Yuan felt that he was 80% full. After calming down, Lin Yuan started to use the energy from the demonic beast's flesh and blood to refine his body according to the circulation route of the Golden Body Secrets. However, the results weren't satisfactory. The energy from the 3 Class 9 demonic beasts only made his body 3 inches long. In terms of attribute points, he saved about 0.3 attribute points. This was a very laughable number. At least, that was what Lin Yuan thought. The 3 Class 9 demonic beasts could provide Lin Yuan with at least 6 attribute points. If he put all of them into the proficiency of the Golden Body Secrets, he could refine a 6-meter dark golden snake body. The difference was obvious. After slaughtering the remaining demonic beasts, Lin Yuan obtained a total of 21 attribute points. He kept 1 for his advancement in a life-and-death situation. The rest of the attribute points were all put into the Golden Body Secrets by Lin Yuan. Host, Lin Yuan status, Big Black Snake, Evolvable, Realm, 8 out of 10 talent, 1. Identify the enemy's location based on smell, cannot be advanced, 2. Form an accurate image of a 500-meter radius around the body, based on smell, 0/103. Water/ice control, 0 out of 100 speed, 14 defense, 13 attack, 14 assignable points, 1 martial arts. Golden Body Secrets, 33. 3 out of 40, skills, 1. Death Coil, 1 of 302. Venom Enhancement, 1 out of 103. Tail Strike, 14 out of 100. Item. Light Feather chance to molt X1 glancing at his current attributes. Lin Yuan nodded in satisfaction. The snake body had been refined to 33. 3 meters. Lin Yuan was most satisfied with the fact that his 7 inches, his biggest weakness, had been refined by the Golden Body Secrets. His survivability had increased by more than 10 times. After pondering for a while, Lin Yuan's snake body froze. Huh, where's my stuff? Where the F*CK did my big random system model go to? Where did the host think the relationship model came from? Remember, the system never gives out charity for no reason. After the host killed Snowfong of the Winterwolf clan, the condition to activate the relationship model was met, so the item was automatically used up. The system's voice was still cold, but it couldn't hold back its mocking tone. Lin Yuan choked for a moment. A proficiency model had given him enough benefits. Although it had greatly suppressed his advancement speed, with this proficiency model, not to mention being invincible in the same realm, even a level 9 monster would be vulnerable in front of the current Lin Yuan. That was why Lin Yuan had been keeping the chance to unlock the random system template. He didn't expect this Russian Matryoshka doll system to be so stubborn. However, the system's words gave Lin Yuan a new direction. If he knew which models existed in the system, he could keep an item to unlock the system template and change it to a specific one, just like how his own wishes could affect the system's skill selection. The system was generous. It didn't care if Lin Yuan could exploit the system's loopholes. Unlike in the games in his previous life, once a bug appeared, the system would immediately repair it. As long as Lin Yuan had the ability, the system would never stop him. Open the relationship model. Lin Yuan replied weakly, although he didn't know if the item used to unlock the system template was a good thing or a bad thing. Since it was already unlocked, he had to see what this new system template was. Anyway, it was one of the unlocked models. With the current power of the system, there might be some surprises. Relationship model. Own faction can be renamed leader. Lin Yuan, member, Bado, 100, Mountain Shaking Ape Clan. Gentle, Frostwolf Winterwolf Clan. Cold, Demon Slayer Iron Hand Squad. Leader, Iron Hand member. Hatred, Mountain Blocking Cities Lu Clan. Mortal enemy. Chapter 58. System. What does the 100 behind bad mean? Lin Yuan coiled up his snake body and asked. He didn't mind the hostile relationship between Demon Slayer and the Lu family. It was an undeserved calamity. Judging from how the Lu family's old ancestor coveted Lin Yuan's flesh and blood, the two sides had an irreconcilable relationship. Even if the Lu family stopped now and didn't target Lin Yuan would still have to pay them back in the future. As for the Iron Hand Society of the Demon Slayer, although Lin Yuan only met the other party face to face, the other party was scared away by the door of the Gravel Clan. Lin Yuan can only understand this hatred relationship as wealth moving people's hearts. Loyalty. Because it is a mission reward, Bada's loyalty has been raised to the maximum. However, Host must remember the 2-year agreement between you and Badu. If Host is unable to complete the mission after 2 years, not only will Badu attack Host, the Stony Stone clan's relationship with Host faction will also drop to hostile. However, after Host completes the mission, Bada's loyalty will be fixed at 100 and he will automatically become Host's trusted aide. Moreover, Host has given Badu a new lease of life, so your relationship with the Stony Stone clan will also improve. System is awesome. Lin Yuan once again sighed from the bottom of his heart. He originally thought that this new model was a trap, but he didn't expect it to be a godly skill. With this faction relationship model, Lin Yuan could check the loyalty of the members of his faction at any time. He didn't need to use time-consuming methods like probing and could directly see who was on his side and who was a traitor. Ding! Unknown energy detected. Target's energy is too strong. Host, please escape as soon as possible. Before Lin Yuan could ask any further questions, the system's notification sounded again. Lin Yuan's snake face was full of question marks. He had seen the power of the system before. Whether it was a demonic beast or a spiritual item, the system could scan them all. Even if the opponent was a strange item like the Greenleaf Lotus, which could extend the lifespan of mortals and give them the opportunity to ascend to immortality, it couldn't escape the system's scan. What kind of existence could it be that the system couldn't scan and could only say that it was an unknown energy? Neither a demonic beast nor a spiritual item? How could there be such a miraculous object in this world? Roar, awoo, moo. All kinds of beast roars rose from all over the Hungduan Mountains. Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. He turned his head with a stunned expression and looked at the lake where he had been resting. A vast amount of energy was brewing under the water, as if it was going to burst out at any moment. In the face of such a terrifying energy that even shook the entire Hungduan Mountains, Lin Yuan's first reaction was not fear, but a sense of desire that rose from the depths of his heart. He wanted to pounce forward and swallow that thing into his stomach. Wait a minute. Lin Yuan was shocked. Why did this scene seem so familiar? F***CK. Lin Yuan subconsciously cursed. Then, he twisted his snake body and darted into the distance. The last time the cold stone grass matured, it was the same feeling. In a while, countless demonic beasts in the Hungduan Mountains might gather here. A stalk of cold stone grass that could allow any demonic beast below level 10 to advance by 1 level didn't evoke the desire in Lin Yuan's heart. Then, the thing that was born this time was definitely extraordinary. Perhaps there might even be wisdom state demonic beasts appearing. Can't afford to offend. Can't afford to offend. Lin Yuan, who had the system with him, actually didn't lack such things. As long as he had enough time to hunt those demonic beasts or experts among humans, sooner or later, he would become the top existence in this world. Only a fool would lose his life for a newly born spiritual item. Ding! Target scan completed. Discovered a newborn blood spirit. The system's electronic voice sounded again. Heaven and earth have spiritual energy. Beasts can become demonic beasts by absorbing spiritual energy from heaven and earth. Humans can become cultivators by absorbing spiritual energy from heaven and earth. However, spiritual energy from heaven and earth also has attributes. If it isn't absorbed for a long time, it can become a spirit. The host can refer to the elemental creatures in the fantasy novels of the previous world. Blood spirits are one of them. If it can go through 1,500 years and pass the 3 tribulations of wind, fire, and thunder, the elemental spirit can be promoted to a wandering immortal. I'm not listening. I'm not listening. Lin Yuan frantically shook his snake head and fled into the distance. No matter what good stuff it was, he had to be alive to take it. He wasn't a fool to snatch something from a wisdom state demonic beast. Boom! The surface of the lake behind him exploded, and a red humanoid doll broke out of the water. It looked like a 3-year-old baby, and it was wearing a red doo-doo. However, its eyes were not black and white. Instead, there were 2 blood-red dots in the darkness, similar to the eyes of the Kaku in the anime of his previous life. Ding! Congratulations to the host for approaching the blood spirit. Triggered mission, Heaven's Gift. Name, Heaven's Gift description. When the elemental spirit is born, it is not guarded at all. Any creature can easily swallow and refine it. As a snake favored by fate, you are fortunate enough to witness the birth of an elemental spirit. How can you easily give up such a heavenly gift? Host, please defeat those demonic beasts that come to fight for the elemental spirit. Protect the blood spirit until it matures, then swallow and refine it. Reward. Randomly receive a blood-related innate ability. Punishment. Golden Body Secret's proficiency is reset to 0. It's here. It's here again. And it's this F** King familiar smell. And it's this kind of F** King mission. Lin Yuan was flustered and exasperated. He weakly let out a sorrowful cry. His huge snake body twisted crazily, but it was as if there was an invisible barrier in front of him. No matter what, he couldn't leave this area. And the owner of those demonic beast roars was getting closer and closer to this area. Ding! The blood spirit is completely born in 1 hour. Host, please work hard. This time, the system's notification wasn't the cold electronic voice. It was as if it had changed to a different voice package. It had turned into a charming voice. F** CK your grandpa. Lin Yuan was still flustered and exasperated. He let out a helpless rage. The last time he encountered the froststone grass, he almost lost his life. That was because he didn't have enough experience. He didn't know that the system on him was the Russian Matryoshka doll system. It was completely a scam. Based on the previous lesson, when Lin Yuan heard the system's notification, he had already planned to leave. But he didn't expect the system to be so shameless and lock him in this area. Level 7, Level 8, Level 9, all kinds of demonic beasts appeared in Lin Yuan's line of sight. But most of them were very restrained. When they were 500 meters away from the lake, these demonic beasts stopped in their tracks. It was as if they were waiting for the blood spirit to be completely born. A few low-level demonic beasts couldn't hold back the desire in their hearts. But in an instant, they were directly torn to pieces by the demonic beasts that were eyeing them covetously. Chapter 59. In a short span of 5 minutes, the originally tranquil and peaceful lake was completely soaked in blood, and the air was filled with the pungent smell of blood. Purge! Yes, purge! After the demonic beasts attracted by the blood spirit arrived, they immediately attacked the demonic beasts around Lin Yuan. Some level 7 and level 8 demonic beasts did not have any ability to resist and were directly torn to pieces. There were even a few level 9 demonic beasts that attacked Lin Yuan, only to have their bones crushed by Lin Yuan's death entanglement. At this point, those demonic beasts did not continue to provoke Lin Yuan. Natural selection, the most basic law of the jungle, was displayed incisively and vividly at this moment. The stories of the weak protagonists in the novels of his previous life would probably only work in a civilized society where the major forces had scruples. But in the bloody jungle, being weak was the original sin. The weak did not even have the chance to watch others compete for opportunities, let alone compete for opportunities. What the F*CK is that? Lin Yuan felt something in his heart and turned his head. A jiao snake with a body length of nearly 100 meters and 2 horns on its head was entrenched not far from him. The pressure from the bloodline immediately made Lin Yuan tremble slightly. Even the surrounding snake-type monsters began to withdraw one after another under the suppression of the bloodline power. It seemed that they did not dare to provoke this jiao snake. Wisdom state. Lin Yuan's heart sank. There was no dragon aura on the other party, and it was even inferior to the dove snake bone that Lin Yuan had faced before. That was why Lin Yuan dared to call it a flood serpent instead of a flood dragon. But looking at the appearance of this flood serpent, it was not too far away from growing 4 legs and completely transforming into a flood dragon. It was also because of the pressure from the dove snake bone that Lin Yuan was able to resist the bloodline suppression and did not retreat like the other snake-type demonic beasts. A doubtful thought sounded in Lin Yuan's mind. Lin Yuan turned his head and happened to see the pair of bronze vertical pupils of the flood serpent staring straight at him, as if wondering why he ignored the bloodline suppression. Look at your grandfather. Idiot. Lin Yuan, who had been tricked by the system, was in an extremely bad mood and directly scolded. In any case, the system's mission was here, not to mention a great demon of the wisdom state. Even a more terrifying existence was Lin Yuan's competitor. Sooner or later, he would have to shed all pretense of cordiality. So why should he be polite? As for offending the other party, sorry. As long as the system did not let Lin Yuan leave this place, they would be mortal enemies. I'll tear you apart. The serpent didn't expect a grade 8 demonic beast to be able to communicate with it telepathically, not to mention that it was Zhu An's champion. Scram! A roar came from behind Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan turned the snake's head and saw an old acquaintance, Mountain Ape Mindu. After being roared at by Mindu, the flood serpent was obviously very afraid and immediately shifted its gaze away from Lin Yuan. The mountain ape of the Stone Shatter clan was the absolute overlord of this area, not to mention its terrifying strength that could shatter mountains and shatter the earth. Just its innate ability to turn the mountain and stone elements into armor was enough to make any demonic beast afraid. Previously, the level 7 Badu had forced Lin Yuan to flee in all directions. In the end, he had to use ice to seal the Badu and barely subdue it. With such intelligence, strength, and a useful innate ability, such a demonic beast was rare. This flood serpent was obviously not one of them. Mindu strode to Lin Yuan's side and immediately frowned and asked, "Why are you here?" Although he was surprised by Lin Yuan's breakthrough speed, Mindu was still not optimistic about Lin Yuan's ability to compete for the blood spirit. A level 8 demonic beast wanted to snatch something from a great demon of the wisdom state. Even in his dreams, he had to have a sense of propriety. However, a gentle relationship was more useful than Lin Yuan imagined. At least, Mindu was willing to offend a flood serpent and protect Lin Yuan at this time. If I say that I had no choice but to obtain the blood spirit, would you believe me? Lin Yuan replied somewhat helplessly while spitting out the snake's forked tongue. Mindu was startled for a moment, then suddenly laughed and said, "I believe you. If you weren't forced, you wouldn't have participated in this almost certain death battle with the strength of a level 8 demonic beast. We took care of that kid Badu. We saw the whole process. With your scheming mind, you wouldn't casually make enemies for yourself." Lin Yuan was silent. He was indeed a bit impulsive. If they fought later and that flood serpent targeted him, it would be really troublesome. However, Lin Yuan didn't regret it. He was just helpless that he wasn't strong enough. Otherwise, before that flood serpent got angry, he would have turned that flood serpent into attribute points just by looking at it. Little black snake, let me ask you, do you really have the confidence to cure that kid Badu? Mendo crossed his arms in front of his chest and asked meaningfully. Yes. Lin Yuan nodded his head and replied very honestly, okay, then I'll help you. Although I can't directly help you obtain the blood spirit, I can guarantee that after you obtain it, you will be able to leave this place safely. Of course, the prerequisite is that you can snatch the blood spirit from a group of level 9 demonic beasts. These wisdom state demonic beasts won't fight for it personally. Even if they obtain the blood spirit, they won't be able to refine it immediately. Therefore, they will wait for the demonic beast that obtained the blood spirit to return to the shore before they fight for it. With my protection, even if they fight with their lives on the line, they won't be able to do anything to you. Contrary to Lin Yuan's expectations, Mendo directly expressed his goodwill. This time, it was Lin Yuan who was startled. His relationship with the mountain-shaking ape clan was only mild, not even friendly. Even if the mountain-shaking ape clan was the overlord of this generation, they couldn't possibly offend all the wisdom state demonic beasts just because of this little bit of goodwill. Could they? There was definitely something fishy going on. Kid, you don't seem like a demonic beast at all. You seem more like a cunning and suspicious human. However, that kid Badu has steeled his heart to recognize you as his boss. I can also tell you that that kid is related to a huge inheritance of my stone-shattering tribe. Therefore, he is extremely important to us. Even if our foundation is damaged, we won't give up on him. If you can really cure that kid Badu, then not only will you be indebted to him, you will also be indebted to my stone-shattering tribe. Last time, I helped you drive away demon-subduing master, so you owe me once. This time, you owe me once again. Now, do you understand what will happen to you if you can't cure Badu? Mendo was not only intelligent, but also had the forthright personality of a mountain-shaking ape. When Lin Yuan became suspicious, he didn't hesitate to throw out the secret of Badu. Although Lin Yuan didn't completely believe him, he was somewhat relieved by Mendo's goodwill. Badu might really be related to a certain inheritance of the stone-shattering tribe, and might even be the future king of the stone-shattering tribe. Otherwise, the mission reward wouldn't involve the entire stone-shattering tribe. Chapter 60. Ding! The Russian nesting doll system issued a timely notification. Without waiting for Lin Yuan to react, the Class 9 demonic beasts that had been restraining themselves for a long time had already charged at Blood Spirit. In an instant, the roars of tigers and dragons filled the air. All kinds of innate abilities filled the air. These Class 9 demonic beasts, which had a foothold in the Hungduan mountain range, were as fragile as paper. With each passing breath, more than 10 Class 9 demonic beasts would die. Looking at the bloody battlefield in front of him, Tung Qingshan couldn't help but sigh. Lin Yuan gave up the idea of going up and stabbing him. Sacrificing his life for a few attribute points wasn't worth it. His golden body secrets was only at the first layer. Its defense was indeed terrifying, but it might not be able to withstand the concentrated attacks of so many Class 9 demonic beasts. No matter how strong his defense was, there was a limit to how much he could withstand. Roar! Mendo suddenly roared. He raised his head to look at the sky and said coldly, "Humans are not allowed to enter the Hungduan mountain range. Don't say you don't know the rules. If you don't leave in 3 breaths, then stay here." As Mendo spoke, the other Wisdom Realm demonic beasts raised their heads and stared at the sky with unfriendly gazes. Lin Yuan could even see that the muscles of these demonic beasts had already tensed up, as though they were ready to enter battle mode at any moment. Lin Yuan only glanced at them for a moment before retracting his gaze. Twisting his serpent body, he crushed the Class 9 demonic beast's flesh and slowly approached Blood Spirit in the center of the lake. If the sky fell, there would be someone tall to hold it up. These demon slayers dared to cross the demonic beast forest and enter the Hungduan mountain range. Moreover, they came to this place where so many demonic beasts gathered. It would be too far-fetched to say that they were just passing by. Presumably, these demon slayers were here for blood spirit. Whoosh! The moment he came to his senses, Lin Yuan suddenly swayed to the left. The ground in front of him exploded, and a yellowish serpent head drilled out of the ground. It probably wanted to catch Lin Yuan off guard. However, Lin Yuan's innate ability to sense smell was there. Even though there were many demonic beasts here, and the system's notifications kept ringing, there were still no demonic beasts within 500 meters of him that could launch a surprise attack. Poisonous snake? Lin Yuan glanced at the yellow snake head, which was a Class 9 monster beast. Seeing that the other party's head was triangular and less than a third of his own head, he immediately guessed the other party's plan. Without waiting for the yellow snake's head to shrink back, Lin Yuan's slightly swaying body twisted once more. He opened his bloody mouth and bit down on the yellow snake's head. His two sharp fangs directly pierced through the snake's head, and colorless and odorless poison slowly poured into the snake's body. Hiss! Hiss! The yellow snake's head wriggled in Lin Yuan's bloody mouth, letting out a painful hiss, as if it wanted to break free from Lin Yuan's control. Come out! Lin Yuan didn't care how much pain the other party was in. After injecting the poison, he directly bit the other party's head and pulled out a 20-meter-long snake from the ground, throwing it behind him. At the same time, a giant bear with shiny black fur the size of a small hill suddenly rushed over from Lin Yuan's left side. Its heavy body was like a chariot crashing into Lin Yuan. Tail Strike. The skill was instantly activated, but under the watchful eyes of everyone, Lin Yuan didn't reveal his trump card, Golden Body Burst. Pung! Following a muffled sound, the mountain-like black bear was stopped by Lin Yuan's attack. It staggered back a few steps before stabilizing its body. Blood flowed down from the wound on its head, wetting its shiny black fur, dyeing it red and then tangling together. Lin Yuan's snaketail was also torn open. Large amounts of blood squeezed out from the torn muscles, instantly dyeing the snaketail a blood-red color. Comparing strength with a bear was still a bit too much. Damn, so many people have their eyes on me. Lin Yuan spat out the snake's forked tongue. Its pitch-black snake face had no expression. If it was a human, Lin Yuan's face would be as black as the bottom of a pot. But very quickly, Lin Yuan figured out the crux of the matter. Although a 9th-grade monster's intelligence wasn't as high as a Wisdom Realm monster, a teenager still had some intelligence. Lin Yuan's strength was indeed very strong, but he was at most an 8th-grade monster. So, before the fight for the blood spirit, they had to get rid of him. In addition to the black bear and the poisonous snake's cooperation, they successfully injured Lin Yuan. So, some of the monsters that were watching suddenly had ideas. Lin Yuan, who had already expected this, let out a long sigh. If the Russian Matryoshka system hadn't tricked him, he wouldn't have been the hunter hiding in the dark. Why would he have to fight a group of 9th-grade monsters to the death here? The Jiao snake wriggled its body to Mendo's side. Its bronze eyes flashed with a hint of mockery. It lowered its voice and said, Mendo, everyone says that your intelligence is comparable to that old fox in the south. Now, it seems that you're just SOSO. That little friend of yours doesn't even have the right to go near the lake. I want to eat snake soup today, so you'd better stay away from me. Mendo's eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness as he replied fiercely. It was very irritated now. The humans that barged into the Hungduan mountain range hadn't left yet. They were still watching from afar. The Wisdom Realm monsters all had their own ulterior motives. Currently, they were still in a state of unity. But if they plucked the blood spirit, their attacks on their own kind wouldn't be any weaker than the humans. In addition, Lin Yuan was clearly targeted by the other monsters. It would be strange if it was in a good mood. Come if you're not afraid of death. Lin Yuan coiled up his thick snake body. His blue and white eyes stared straight ahead. The snake kept flicking its tongue. The ruthlessness of a predator flowed through his body. Despite being stared at by so many 9th-grade monsters, Lin Yuan's eyes didn't have the slightest hint of panic. On the contrary, his eyes were filled with an endless desire to fight. The stage of the top predators, even if it was only the lowest stage, would definitely have a place for him. In this battle, he wanted to kill all these ninth-grade monsters. He wanted all the ninth-grade monsters in this area to run away with their tails between their legs when they saw him. A cold, murderous aura was released from Lin Yuan's body. It slowly enveloped the surrounding ninth-grade monsters that were eyeing him covetously. In his previous life, he thought that murderous aura was just an artistic thing. But in this life, after Lin Yuan's hands were stained with the blood of countless people, something similar to murderous aura had indeed appeared on his body. Ordinary weaklings would immediately feel their limbs turn cold and their scalp numb when they were stared at by him like this. Even among these ninth-grade monsters, many of them revealed a look of fear. They subconsciously took a few steps back and didn't dare to look directly at Lin Yuan's murderous aura. After all, most of them were born as ninth-grade monsters' children. Under the care of their parents, they grew much faster than low-grade monsters. Facing Lin Yuan's murderous existence, they would tremble at a glance. Chapter 61. Trash. Lin Yuan sneered inwardly when he saw that the group of grade 9 demonic beasts were frightened by him. A group of grade 9 demonic beasts added together was not as stressful as a single Badu. If it weren't for the fact that he was afraid of these guys swarming him, Lin Yuan would have taken the initiative to attack. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing the grade 9 demonic beast, Yellow Crag Snake. You have gained 2 attribute points. Almost at the same time the system beeped, more than half of Lin Yuan's body turned from black to dark gold. Then, he leaped into the air and pounced toward the black bear that had injured him. Tail Strike. The skill was released, and his body adjusted. Lin Yuan dodged the black bear's attack with a strange posture. Death Coil. The second skill was released. Lin Yuan's 40-meter-long snake body coiled around the black bear. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yuan's snake body closed and wriggled, bursting with terrifying power. Even the grade 9 demonic beast, the black bear, couldn't break free. Its bones cracked as if they would be crushed by Lin Yuan at any time. Hiss! A human airborne realm demon slayer who was watching the battle gasped as a glint flashed in his eyes. Half of this black snake's body had turned into a dark golden color. With just one coil, it had instantly killed a 9th-grade demonic beast. In addition to the yellow rock snake that had died earlier, the black snake had become serious. With the strength of an 8th-grade demonic beast, it had instantly killed 2 9th-grade demonic beasts. An ancient remnant. It must be an ancient remnant. Get ready. If necessary, we'll intervene. This black snake is probably an ancient species. We'll take it and Shuai Ling with us. Very soon, he called out to his companions, his eyes filled with greed that could not be erased. Why did humans hunt demonic beasts? At first, it was for survival. Later, it was to fight for territory. Now it was for profit. When ordinary people ate the flesh of demonic beasts, they would be able to transform it into their own spiritual essence and embark on the path of cultivation. Even in Zhongshan City, which was close to the Hengduan mountain range, the flesh of demonic beasts was very valuable. In particular, the flesh of high-level demonic beasts was even more priceless. If one hunted a wisdom realm demonic beast, aside from its flesh, one could also pluck its monster core. That was something that even Heaven's strength realm experts would be moved. If one consumed a monster core condensed from a demonic beast with a precious bloodline, that cultivator would be able to surpass the peak of the airborne realm that held countless heroes back and stepped into the Heaven's strength realm. Heaven's strength realm experts? Even the monarchs of the 7 dynasties had to be courteous to a Heaven realm cultivator when they met one. Rumor had it that the bloodline of ancient remnant beasts was so pure that they did not fear the bloodline pressure of high-ranking demonic beasts. Furthermore, they had combat strength that far exceeded those of the same level. If such an existence were to condense a monster core, Even Demon Slayer Master, who was at the peak of the airborne realm, would have to avoid it. However, if one were to consume such a monster core, it was possible for one to reach a higher realm, let alone the Heaven Strength realm. That was also the reason why ancient remnant beasts were hunted to extinction despite being extremely powerful. It was impossible to find ancient remnant beasts unless one was in a remote place. He could clearly see that the Black Serpent was able to ignore the suppression of the Flood Serpent's bloodline. Furthermore, the level 9 demonic beasts were unable to pose a threat to the Black Serpent before a certain number of them gathered. The Black Serpent had perfectly matched the characteristics of every ancient remnant beast. Ding! The system has detected malice from Demon Slayer Master. The relationship between the forces has been updated. The current relationship between the host and the City Lord of Zhongshan City has decreased by 100 points. The host is now a mortal enemy. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a level 9 demonic beast, Mountain Bear. 2 attribute points have been awarded. 2 system notifications rang out one after another. A huge question mark immediately appeared on Lin Yuan's head. What did he do this time? How did he become mortal enemies with the City Lord of Zhongshan City after killing 2 level 9 demonic beasts? Could it be that these 2 demonic beasts were reared by the City Lord? Before he could think about it, Lin Yuan's body had already moved. His most primitive hunting instinct made him shoot out once again. The dark gold snake head violently crashed into the waist of a tiger-type demonic beast. Roar! The tiger-type demonic beast let out a wail. Almost all large carnivorous beasts had a common problem. They had a copper head, an iron tail, and a tofu waist. Especially near the abdomen, it was a fatal weak point. It was as important as Lin Yuan's 7 inches. Lin Yuan never thought that he would be able to knock a level 9 ferocious tiger to the ground with a fire arrowhead mallet. However, Lin Yuan did not hesitate at all. He quickly lowered his head and bit down on the ferocious tiger's white belly. He poured all the poison in the poison sac into the tiger's body and used his snake tail to wrap around the ferocious tiger's head. Although the ferocious tiger could still struggle on the ground, it still died in Lin Yuan's hands under the double pressure of suffocation and poison. It did not even have the chance to attack. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a level 9 demonic beast, multicolored tiger. 3 attribute points have been awarded. Here it comes. Lin Yuan's mind shook. He immediately communicated with the system and directly transferred the attribute points from the 3 level 9 demonic beasts into the golden body secrets. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yuan's golden body secrets had reached a perfect level. The 40-meter-long snake body had completely turned into a dark gold color. Its defensive power had increased by more than 10 times. Most importantly, when Lin Yuan used the golden body secrets, there was no weakness on his body at all. The remaining level 9 demonic beasts lowered their heads and slowly left the battlefield. They did not dare to continue to surround Lin Yuan. In the face of such a terrifying existence, they had lost the courage to fight. Naturally, they followed their instincts and stayed away from Lin Yuan. They could not just stand there and watch Lin Yuan kill them one by one, could they? It seems that my taste is not bad, Mendu replied lightly. His mocking gaze fell on the flood dragon snake again. He began to think about whether he should eat snake soup today. A bunch of trash. The flood dragon snake snorted coldly. It turned its head and moved to one side, no longer communicating with men, although it did not understand why the black snake changed color. It could feel that the black snake was definitely much stronger after changing color. It should be the black snake's natural ability. It looked very difficult to deal with. At the same time, it could not understand why the black snake broke through the dozens of level 9 demonic beasts gathered together without even a chance to attack. It even killed 3 of them. It could not think of any other adjectives other than trash. Chapter 62. Ding! The system has detected that host's golden body technique has reached small perfection. Would you like to advance to golden body technique? After the Class 9 beasts had retreated, the system asked Lin Yuan a question. Logically speaking, the golden body technique had already been refined to a length of 40 meters. Before he advanced to the next level, there was no way he could improve this technique. Naturally, he wanted to advance to the next level. However, Lin Yuan was familiar with the way the Russian nesting doll system worked, so he was able to catch the hidden meaning in the system's words. Small perfection? Choice. He could advance to the next level even if he didn't cultivate the technique to small perfection. Then last time when he asked the system if he could use attribute points to upgrade the golden body technique, the system wouldn't have told him to be careful even in his dreams. 25 meters wouldn't do. 40 meters would do? If 40 meters was small perfection, then how long would it take to reach large perfection? 80 meters? 100 meters? Since the host has reached small perfection, you can choose whether to upgrade the golden body technique to the second level. The current golden body technique allows the host to negate 35% of the damage taken, which is 100 times the host tolerance. As long as the opponent's attack does not exceed this limit, the golden body technique will not be broken. The second level of the golden body technique allows the host to negate 45% of the damage taken, which is 300 times the host tolerance. When the host's body reaches Spirit Awakening Realm Level 10, its length should be exactly 100 meters. If the host does not choose to evolve it, the host will never be able to advance to a higher realm. Thus, the limit of the first level of the golden body technique is 100 meters. Once the host reaches small perfection, the cultivation technique will automatically advance to the second level. As the worm in Lin Yuan's stomach, the system didn't even wait for Lin Yuan to ask before it spoke. Lin Yuan was silent for a moment. He felt that something was wrong. The system seemed to be messing with him, but it was giving him a chance to become stronger and more durable in a short period of time. The golden body secrets could negate 35% of the damage. His defense was 13 points. If the opponent wanted to break through the first layer of the golden body secrets, they would have to deal a total of 1,690 points of damage to shatter his golden body secrets and damage the body hidden underneath. However, this was obviously just data. After all, even if Lin Yuan used golden body secrets, he would not be able to withstand more than 200 points of attack. It was just like those warriors who wore impenetrable armor and could still be swung to death by a hammer. However, Lin Yuan could be sure that demon beasts below the level of wisdom would not be able to easily kill him. System, if I choose to advance now, what will happen? Lin Yuan hesitated for a moment before asking. He was a little flustered. What if the system felt guilty because it had cheated him too many times and wanted to help him out? If he asked this question, would he miss this opportunity? Shocked by Lin Yuan's question, the system obviously did not react. After a while, the system slowly said, "Very good." It seems that after this period of training, the host has understood that there is no such thing as a free lunch in the world. If you advance to the golden body secrets now, it will indeed give the host a certain boost in the short term. However, in the long term, this transaction is quite a loss. Every point of proficiency in the second layer of the golden body secrets requires the host to invest 10 attribute points to advance. If the host directly advances after achieving small perfection, then an additional attribute point will be required to upgrade the golden body secrets. I knew you were AF * King Scammer. Lin Yuan was flustered and exasperated once again. To think that his conscience hurt for a moment, thinking that the system wanted to help him out. When he became a level 10 demonic beast, his body length would increase to 100 meters. He would have to pay 11 attribute points for every meter of his snake body that was 60 meters long. Otherwise, he would have to cultivate slowly by himself. Who would be able to withstand that? It seems that the host will not choose to advance now. The system's voice suddenly became meaningful. I won't even if you beat me to death. Give up, you F * King Scammer. Lin Yuan rolled his eyes and decided to ignore the system. He wriggled his snake body and approached the blood spirit. Regardless of whether he advanced or not, obtaining the blood spirit was the most important thing now. If he did not obtain the blood spirit, then all the attribute points invested in the golden body secrets would be wasted. Let's wait and see. The system's voice was still meaningful, as if it had predicted something. Lin Yuan wriggled his dark golden snake body at a steady speed. After all, the demon beasts were afraid of disturbing the blood spirit, so they were all killing on the shore. There was no one who dared to provoke the crowd and choose to enter the water to obtain the blood spirit at this time. After killing 3 level 9 demon beasts in a row, his body was surrounded by murderous aura. Lin Yuan, a level 8 demon among the level 9 demon beasts, had become a well-known existence. Common level 9 demon beasts dared not block Lin Yuan's path. Those with a certain level of strength did not want to offend Lin Yuan for the time being. After all, they still had to deal with other demon beasts. They were natives of the Hengduan Mountains. Although the place was not as complicated as human society, the relationship between different groups and clans was still very tense. Only Lin Yuan, who came out of nowhere, had not offended any demon beasts other than a Jiao snake. Do it! The airborne realm demon Slayer Master, who was watching the battle, suddenly raised his hand and waved in front of him. Boom! 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 The area where the Wisdom Realm Demon Beast was instantly covered by artillery fire. Even though Lin Yuan was still some distance away, he felt the ground tremble. What is going on? The 2nd Battalion commander brought his Italian artillery here? Lin Yuan was completely dumbfounded. The humans of this world were very much like the cultivation civilizations in novels. They still used cold weapons, had dynasties, and had sections. However, Lin Yuan never expected that the humans of this world would have even upgraded the technology tree. While this level of bombardment was not comparable to modern warfare on Earth in his past life, it was definitely not inferior to the artillery of the era of foreign guns and cannons. Roar! 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 The Wisdom Realm Demon Beasts, who were attacked by the Demon Slayer Master, roared one after another. One by one, they began to use their innate abilities to fight back against the humans. There were also demon beasts with tough physical bodies like the Mendu, who used elemental powers to protect themselves as they charged at the humans. After reaching the Wisdom Realm, their innate abilities were no longer limited to things like fireballs, wind blades, and water pillars. These demon beasts' use of elemental powers had obviously reached a higher level. The Demon Slayer Master is making his move. I need to hurry up. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils flashed with a cold light, and the speed at which he moved increased dramatically. Chapter 63. After a round of suppressive cannon fire ended, some of the monsters with strong physical bodies had already broken through to the front of the Demon Slayer's cannon formation. They brandished weapons such as rocks, trees, and elemental condensed weapons. They looked very imposing, but all of them were blocked outside the cannon formation. Those burly warriors in heavy armor held a tower shield that was nearly 2 meters in height in their left hand, and a thick-backed machete similar to the golden dragon saber in their other hand. Every 5 of them formed a battle formation, blocking those wisdom, enlightenment, great beasts that were charging in front of them from the cannon formation. The corner of Lin Yuan's eyes twitched slightly. Although he didn't know how many kilograms of heavy armor those humans were wearing, judging from the strength and speed of their movements, it was as if the heavy armor they were wearing was weightless. The cannon fire was still rumbling, suppressing most of the Wisdom Realm monsters. The battle formation of the heavy-armored warriors was also quite impressive. 5 airborne realm demon slayers might not be able to deal with 1 Wisdom Realm monster, but these heavy-armored warriors were doing it with ease. Once the Wisdom Realm Great Demon was about to kill any one of the 5, the other 4 would simultaneously thrust out their machetes and stab at the demon's vital points. In this way, even if the Wisdom Realm Great Demon managed to kill one of them and break the formation, he would still be severely injured and on the verge of death. So, this is the regular army of the humans? Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly, and he was shocked once again. Professional demon slayers in the airborne realm could scare them away with just 1 gate. However, There were no less than 30 Wisdom Realm monsters present, and yet they were all suppressed by the warriors of the City Lord office of Mountain Blocking City. They even seemed to be powerless when they fought back. Following the summons of some Wisdom Realm demons, most of the Class 9 demonic beasts stopped killing each other and gave up on plucking the blood spirits. After all, demonic beasts only killed each other for a better chance of survival. However, when humans attacked, they would never leave a way out for demonic beasts. Of course, Lin Yuan was not among the monsters that returned. In his eyes, there was only the mature blood spirit. A blood-related innate skill was not very attractive to Lin Yuan, but the Golden Body secret art was reset to 0, which almost took away half of Lin Yuan's life. Without this life-saving skill, Lin Yuan would be completely removed from the ranks of predators, and any Class 9 monster beast could easily threaten his life. 500 meters, 300 meters, 100 meters. When Lin Yuan rushed to the lakeside, he realized that he wasn't the only one who didn't listen to the summons of the Wisdom Stage Great Demon. There were at least 7 other demonic beasts guarding the lakeside, vigilantly looking around. Among the 7 demonic beasts, except for a huge demonic beast similar to the chimpanzee in Lin Yuan's previous life, the rest of the demonic beasts had obviously not reached maturity. At most, they had just passed the infancy stage, and some of their characteristics had not been completely revealed. However, their strength had already reached level 9, or even the upper middle level of level 9 demonic beasts. It was very obvious that bloodline was something unavoidable for demonic beasts. Some demonic beasts were unable to reach level 9 in their entire lives, while some demonic beasts only needed to pass the infancy stage to become one of the top predators. The 6 demonic beasts near the lakeside were obviously the noble young masters of the demonic beast clan. At least in this area, they were one of the noble young masters. Lin Yuan was too lazy to play the staring game with them. He only roughly swept a glance at his competitors and then plunged into the lake in front of him. As a demonic beast with the innate ability to control water, Lin Yuan instantly forgot about those terrifying existences on the lakeside. A feeling of strength gradually rose in his heart. When the 7 demonic beasts on the lakeside saw that the newcomer Lin Yuan did not follow the rules of the game and directly jumped into the lake, they immediately roared and jumped into the water. However, no one noticed that the blood spirit in the center of the lake no longer had an ignorant look in his eyes. Instead, it was replaced by a cunning and cruel prey that had taken the bait. In an instant, the blood boy, who originally looked like a 3-year-old human child, directly transformed into an evil-looking young man in his 20s wearing a bright red robe. A pair of black and red eyes looked at the 8 demonic beasts that were approaching him, and the corners of his mouth curled into a satisfied smile. Danger! The 8 demonic beasts chased each other and formed a team. Lin Yuan, who was at the front, suddenly stopped in his tracks. A ruthless aura shrouded him in an instant. Suddenly, Lin Yuan even felt his entire body turn cold, and even the abundant energy in his body seemed to have completely left him. The source of all this was the blood-red-clothed young man who was barefoot on the lake. Ding! Detected a change in the blood spirit, suspected to be affected by the blood moon a while ago. Ding! System detected an abnormality, modifying ding. Modification complete. The conditions for completing the mission Heavenly Opportunity have been changed. Name: Heavenly Opportunity. Description: the blood spirit has completely mutated, and the current blood spirit is not an existence that the host can contend with. However, the greater the danger, the greater the opportunity. Now, the host has 2 paths in front of him. Optional mission Route 1. If you don't accept a gift from heaven, you will be punished. Description: as the Snake of Fortune, you know very well what the opportunity before you means. As long as you can consume the mutated blood spirit, not only will you awaken a blood-related innate ability, you will also undergo an initial metamorphosis and become a truly fearless top predator. Completion reward: randomly obtain a talent related to blood. One of the status skills, Tranquility. Punishment for failure: death. Optional Mission Route 2. In the face of danger, survival is the priority. Description: as an existence that has been crawling in the forest for a period of time, you realize that no opportunity is more important than your own life. As long as you can survive, anything is possible. Therefore, at this critical juncture, you have chosen to leave this dangerous place. Completion reward: none. Punishment for failure: death. Lin Yuan felt a chill run down his spine. He stuck his head out to look at the blood-red clothed young man who was approaching him step by step on the lake. Lin Yuan did not hesitate at all and immediately turned to fly towards the shore. The mutated blood spirit in front of him was definitely not an existence that he could deal with. In Lin Yuan's eyes, the first optional mission was like a joke. Even the system had automatically modified the mission. If he still wanted to fight the mutated blood spirit head-on, he would be a fool. However, when Lin Yuan flew towards the shore, the other 7 demonic beasts obviously did not realize the danger. Seeing that Lin Yuan had voluntarily given up fighting for the blood spirit, they ignored Lin Yuan and continued to fly towards the mutated blood spirit. Chapter 64. The first one to rush to the side of the mutant blood spirit was the level 9 demonic beast that looked like a chimpanzee. However, this demonic beast with bulging muscles and great strength had no resistance at all in front of the mutant blood spirit. Its pair of strong arms were as fragile as 2 chicken legs in front of the mutant blood spirit. Almost as soon as it stretched out its hand to grab the leg of the mutant blood spirit, the mutant blood spirit lowered its body at the same time, lifted the chimpanzee directly from the water, and bit its neck. Its white teeth were not inferior to divine weapons. With just a gentle bite, it easily tore the flesh of the chimpanzee. The level 9 demonic beast did not even last 3 seconds under the attack of the mutant blood spirit before it was directly sucked into a dried corpse. It was not until this moment that the other 6 level 9 demonic beasts apparently realized why Lin Yuan chose to escape. One after another, they let out mournful cries and scattered in all directions. At this time, if they were to line up like when they came, it would be like the Calabash brothers sending themselves to their deaths one by one. It would be better for them to scatter and see who the mutant blood spirit would chase after. If they were unlucky, they could only accept it. The mutant blood spirit casually threw away the dried corpse of the chimpanzee in its hand, causing a large splash of water. It stuck out its tongue and licked its lips as if it had not had enough. The next moment, the mutant blood spirit began to rush in the direction of Lin Yuan. As it ran, its legs directly dragged out a series of shadows. The originally calm water surface was constantly rippled by its steps, and large splashes of water were raised behind it. Lin Yuan, who was about to reach the shore, was confused. That chilling feeling appeared all over his body again. Obviously, after the mutant blood spirit ate the chimpanzee, it had made him its next target. When chasing, it killed the one that ran the furthest first. Damn it! Lin Yuan cursed angrily and directly activated his talent. The lake water beneath the mutant blood spirit's feet instantly froze and turned into extremely hard ice. The ice directly wrapped around his legs. In the blink of an eye, the running mutant blood spirit had turned into an ice sculpture. Before Lin Yuan could heave a sigh of relief, the ice sculpture was instantly filled with cracks. Soon after, the ice sculpture shattered into pieces, and the mutated blood spirit that had been controlled inside rushed out once again. Its pair of blood-red eyes were filled with a ruthless and furious look, as if it was infuriated that its food dared to fight back. "You want to eat me? F***CKU. When Lin Yuan saw that his opponent's speed had increased instead of decreasing, he immediately became furious and cursed in his heart. The mutated blood spirit had the body of a normal human, but he had the body of a snake that was 40 meters long. No matter how fast he was, it was impossible for him to leave the mutated blood spirit's pursuit range in an instant. As such, if no one stopped the mutated blood spirit, it it would catch up with him sooner or later. His talent ability was activated to the maximum efficiency. A thick icicle rose from the lake and pierced through the mutated blood spirit's chest without any hindrance. With such an injury, no matter if it was a human or a demonic beast, it would be impossible to survive. Although he did not know why this mutated blood spirit was so fragile, Lin Yuan was delighted. Suddenly, the pierced mutated blood spirit raised its head again. Its blood-red eyes were filled with ferocity as it stared fiercely at Lin Yuan, who had attacked it again. Its body suddenly exploded, turning into a ball of sticky blood. It then reformed into a human form and rushed toward Lin Yuan again. Physical immunity? Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils suddenly shrank. A thick icicle pierced through its chest. How could such an injury not hurt or itch? How could there be such an unreasonable thing in this world? Ding! Unknown energy has been detected in the mutated blood spirit's body. Swallowing it will be of great benefit to the host. The system's notification sounded as if it did not take the mutated blood spirit seriously. I'll swallow your grandpa. Lin Yuan cursed inwardly. He turned around and climbed up the riverbank. His attacks were useless against the mutated blood spirit. Even if he continued to stay in the lake, it would only add 1 point to all his attributes. It would not be of any help in the battle against the blood spirit. Lin Yuan's movement speed was not slow after he came up to the shore. He steadily maintained the distance between him and the blood spirit. Target confirmed. Can be captured. The blood spirit has also chased after us. Can be captured. Hey, what a great harvest! Following the sound of several human voices, Lin Yuan suddenly heard a whooshing sound in his ears. Clang! 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 Sturdy large crossbow bolts were shot from the front. Their target was not Lin Yuan's snake body. Instead, these crossbow bolts were connected to a large net made of unknown material. In an instant, Lin Yuan was enveloped in the net. What did it mean when it rains, it pours? This was what it meant. Lin Yuan almost had a mental breakdown. Ever since he obtained the system, Lin Yuan had completed quite a number of missions. However, it was the first time that the system was forced to modify the mission by an unknown force. Lin Yuan did not know how difficult it was to deal with. Judging from the other party's ability to instantly kill a 9th-grade demonic beast, he was afraid that it was at least a 10th-grade demonic beast. It might even be a terrifying existence in the wisdom state. After all, for ordinary demonic beasts, every level up from the 8th, 9th, and 10th grades could be said to be a leap in growth. These humans from a city lord's mansion of Mountain Block City were obviously not satisfied with just capturing a single black snake. After they controlled Lin Yuan, they took the initiative to confront the pursuing mutated blood spirit. In the image of smell in his mind, when the mutated blood spirit saw that Lin Yuan was controlled by humans, there was no joy in its eyes. Instead, it was filled with anger. However, this time, its anger was completely directed at these humans. Obviously, this mutated blood spirit did not like its prey to resist it. However, at the same time, it did not like its prey to fall into the hands of others. The mutated blood spirit was extremely fast. It almost instantly came to Lin Yuan's side. It reached out to grab a thick crossbow arrow nailed to the ground and pulled it up with all its strength. However, this thick crossbow arrow was obviously heavier than what the mutated blood spirit had imagined. It did not succeed in pulling the arrow out of the ground. Roar! The mutated blood spirit let out a low roar. Its whole body was covered in blood, and its strength suddenly increased by a lot. In the blink of an eye, the mutated blood spirit actually covered part of Lin Yuan's body and directly lifted the large net that was controlling him. The sound of something breaking through the air was heard again. Another large net flew over. Obviously, these humans intended to use the same trick to capture the mutated blood spirit. Lin Yuan sneered. These humans should be busy fighting with a wisdom state demonic beast and did not see the battle between him and the mutated blood spirit. That was why they used such a stupid method. Chapter 65. Just as expected, Just as Lin Yuan had expected, the mutant blood spirit's body exploded once again, turning into a ball of viscous blood. It penetrated through the net and reformed into a human body. A cruel smile appeared on its evil face as it ran towards the humans who had cast the net. Lin Yuan, who was not far away, suddenly felt a tremor in his snake body. In the olfactory imaging, there was obviously a large pool of blood under the net. This mutant blood spirit, it did not seem to be undefeatable. A cold glint flashed across Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils as he stared coldly at the mutant blood spirit that had crashed into the human battle formation. The law of conservation of energy was universal no matter which world it was in. Obviously, this mutant blood spirit was not immune to physical attacks. It could only use some means to turn its physical body into blood and then reassemble. It could use this to quickly escape from control and injuries. However, this method obviously came with a corresponding price. For example, one's own blood. It was hard to say how much blood the mutant blood spirit had in its body. Although it could absorb the blood of others to replenish itself, it was the same as how Lin Yuan gained attribute points from hunting creatures. Only creatures of similar strength could gain the greatest benefits. Otherwise, it would not have been so fixated on Lin Yuan. It was obvious that the level 9 chimpanzee could not satisfy its thirst for blood. As his thoughts raced, Lin Yuan calmed down. Since the other party was not invincible, it meant that the first task was not impossible. Greed was the deep-rooted bad habit of all living creatures. Lin Yuan was no exception. He was not a saint, but compared to some greedy people who valued wealth over their lives, Lin Yuan was more clear-headed. Previously, he felt that the mutant blood spirit was not something he could defeat, so he chose to escape. However, now that he had been targeted by the other party, there was no way to escape. If he fought with all his might, there was still a chance of winning. After all, the mutant blood spirit could transform into blood and reassemble. He still had 2 lives. After the fear in his heart was completely expelled, Lin Yuan also completely calmed down. He stared coldly at the temporary camp that the human side had set up. Those heavily armored warriors could use their battle formations to defend against the great demons of Wisdom Realm, but clearly, they could not defend against the mutated blood spirits. This was because the mutated blood spirits seemed to have no weaknesses. Whether it was the collision of 2 tower shields or the slashing of broadswords, there was almost no way to hurt them. As he watched the battle, Lin Yuan's eyes grew brighter and brighter. As the number of times the mutant blood spirit regenerated increased, its speed and strength were constantly weakening. Although the heavy armor warriors could not kill it, it could not easily kill them either. Its teeth could easily tear through the flesh of Class 9 demon beast, but against a heavy armor that could withstand the attack of a Wisdom Realm great demon beast, it clearly couldn't do much. For a moment, both sides were anxious. Peak of level 9? Or is he at level 10? Fortunately, it didn't exceed my limit. Lin Yuan didn't even blink. He just stared at the mutant blood spirit's movements. After observing for a while, Lin Yuan's figure leaped out like a ghost. His huge snake body rushed to the front of the human battle formation in an instant, allowing the broadswords to fall on his golden body. Tail attack. With a tricky tail swing, Lin Yuan directly hit the 2 heavy armor warriors in front of him, causing them to retreat continuously. Compared to the great demons of wisdom who had to protect their vitals, Lin Yuan, who was in the state of golden body release, was not something that these humans could easily break through and injure. Therefore, he did not have any scruples when he attacked. The 5-man battle formation was broken in an instant. Lin Yuan's snake body directly came to the center of the battle formation. This was the cannon fire formation. The capture net that the other party had thrown out just now was also projected from here. Monster! Run! With Lin Yuan's entrance, these humans who were operating the cannons immediately let out a series of screams. They no longer dared to continue controlling the cannons to suppress the great demons of wisdom in front of them. Instead, they all held their heads and fled to the back. The heavy armor warriors who were fighting the great demons of wisdom in front of them were all in the airborne realm. This was because only then could they hold up their heavy armor and pose a threat to the great demons of wisdom. However, these cannoneers did not have such strict requirements for their cultivation level. Most of them were only at level 6 or 7. When faced with the terrifying existence that killed the level 9 monster in an instant, they did not even have the courage to resist. Lin Yuan did not chase after them. He just swung his snake tail and completely crushed these cannons that were similar to the redcoat cannons. Heavy armor warriors of the airborne realm were not existences that he could kill. Lin Yuan also did not have to chase these low-level cannoneers to death. Why waste energy on something that did not benefit him? Roar! The blood spirit's low roar was heard again. Lin Yuan turned his head and saw the mutant blood spirit, which was surrounded by 5 heavy armor warriors, roaring at the sky. It was then wrapped in scarlet threads all over its body. While the 5 heavy armor warriors sensed danger, they obviously did not think that the mutant blood spirit could do any harm to them. They raised the tower shields in their hands at the same time, squeezing the mutant blood spirit in the middle and charging at the same time. Boom! The mutant blood spirit stared at Lin Yuan with a sinister smile on its face. The next moment, its body suddenly exploded. Thick pillars of blood shot out and hit the tower shields that were capable of withstanding the attacks of the great demons of wisdom, washing the shields into pieces. Immediately afterward, the heavy armor warriors, who had most of their bodies pressed against the tower shields, were also hit by the pillars of blood and were sent flying backward. Such damage was obviously not enough to directly kill the 5 airborne realm humans who were protected by heavy armor, but it was enough to make them fall hard to the ground, unable to get up for a long time. After completing the self-destruction, the body of the mutant blood spirit condensed again. However, this time, the mutant blood spirit's face looked a lot paler, but its eyes were very determined. It walked towards Lin Yuan step by step, seemingly wanting to suck the blood in Lin Yuan's body dry to replenish itself. Hiss, hiss. Lin Yuan flicked its tongue and coiled its body, staring at the mutant blood spirit with its blue-white vertical eyes. At this moment, the mutant blood spirit was undoubtedly at its weakest, but Lin Yuan's condition was not reduced by much. Whoosh! The pitch-black snake body shot out. Before the mutant blood spirit could make a move, Lin Yuan had already made the first move. Death Coil. Under the adjustment of the great power of the system, Lin Yuan's huge body was tightly wrapped around the body of the mutant blood spirit. Chapter 66. The mutant blood spirit and Lin Yuan's eyes clashed in midair, and the pungent smell of blood began to spread. The humans all around them moved away from the 2 monsters, but there was still some fear in their eyes. Such beings were not something they could fight. Even if they were to kill those 2 monsters, they would have to pay an extremely heavy price. Lin Yuan coiled his snake body in circles. His 40-meter-long snake body did not seem cumbersome at all, but his blue-white vertical eyes were somewhat cold. He was not so arrogant as to think that he was a match for humans in the airborne realm. Those heavy-armored warriors were only armed with standard weapons issued by the City Lord's office. If it were the Demon Slayers, who were more wealthy, they would have definitely been armed with weapons that were not inferior to the Golden Dragon Saber. Against such beings, Lin Yuan's golden body might not have been able to withstand them. Even those heavy-armored warriors who were not armed with divine weapons were still not people he could kill. The mutant blood spirit licked its lips, and a bloodthirsty smile appeared on its face. At the next moment, Lin Yuan and the mutant blood spirit rushed at each other almost at the same time. When Lin Yuan wrapped the mutant blood spirit with death coil, the mutant blood spirit opened its mouth, revealing a mouthful of white fangs, and bit at Lin Yuan's golden body in a frenzy. Faced with such a frenzied attack, the area that was bitten by the mutant blood spirit also showed visible cracks. Lin Yuan was equally ruthless, and the speed of his body rotation was adjusted to the maximum. Every time the snake body rolled over the mutant blood spirit, the oppressive force was not inferior to the tank tracks of his previous life. The proficiency of death entanglement in the proficiency model jumped crazily. It was obvious that such a desperate battle was very beneficial for the growth of the skill. PFFDT. With a crisp sound, the mutant blood spirit was unable to withstand the pressure brought about by Lin Yuan's death coil. It exploded into a clump of viscous blood, flowing to a place about 3 meters away from Lin Yuan, and reformed into a human form. The hostility in its eyes dissipated significantly, and there was even a hint of shock. How could the body of this level 8 beast be so tough? Just a moment ago, he had bitten so crazily that even a 10th level monster beast would have a piece of flesh torn off. However, the dark golden snake in front of him had only been bitten to the point that its skin had cracked. Not even a drop of blood had been squeezed out. Tail attack. Before the mutant blood spirit could launch another attack, Lin Yuan's attack had already broken through the seal. The terrifying wind whistled as if it was going to tear the forest apart. The mutant blood spirit was indeed at the end of its tether. Although its skin was pale last time, it was still able to maintain its human form. But this time, its skin had become somewhat transparent, just like a ghost. No bones, no internal organs, which means no fatal injuries. Lin Yuan continued to attack while thinking quickly. If he wanted to defeat this mutant blood spirit, he would have to force it to explode its body continuously, making it weaker and weaker. However, in this way, Lin Yuan would not be able to complete the mission assigned by the system. This was because the only way to kill the mutant blood spirit was to make it explode continuously until it completely dissipated. However, in this way, Lin Yuan would not be able to devour it. The system's failure penalty was no joke. If it said it would die, it would definitely die. Could it be that, eating it alive? A bold idea suddenly sprouted in Lin Yuan's mind. However, Lin Yuan's eyes showed obvious hesitation. Although he had already adapted to his identity as a monster beast, devouring flesh and even eating humans did not have any psychological burden to him. However, this mutant blood spirit was obviously not to be trifled with. Lin Yuan even thought of the journey to the west that he had seen in his previous life. Many monsters had swallowed Sun Wukong into their stomachs, but because they were unable to digest Sun Wukong, their soft internal organs were beaten up and they could not wait to kneel down and call him daddy. If this mutant blood spirit was the same, it would enter Lin Yuan's body and devour his internal organs and blood before bursting out of his body. Then, Lin Yuan would be deader than dead. Chirp, chirp. The mutant blood spirit did not know Lin Yuan's thoughts and began to mutter softly. Soon, the blood left behind by the monster beasts at the beginning was mobilized by the mutant blood spirit to form a blood-red long saber that was absolutely not inferior to Lin Yuan's snake body. It slashed down at Lin Yuan. Yes, there's a lot of flesh and blood nearby, but it was almost useless to the mutant blood spirit. Because it had been exposed to the air for too long, the spiritual energy contained in the blood had completely dissipated. Even if it devoured the blood, it would not be of any help to itself. It was like a refugee eating soil in a disaster. Although it was full for a short period of time, its body had no way of digesting the soil that it had eaten, nor was there any way to expel it. In the end, it would be bloated to death. Therefore, the only use of the blood for it was to be used as a weapon to attack, similar to Lin Yuan's innate ability to control water. As the mutant blood spirit continued its attack, Lin Yuan's coiled snake body shot out again. Accompanied by a series of puff, puff, puff sounds, the huge blood saber that fell from the sky completely collapsed when it fell on Lin Yuan's body and turned back into a pool of blood on the ground. Failing its attack, the mutant blood spirit's eyes suddenly revealed a touch of panic. It stomped on the ground and retreated rapidly. However, the speed of the mutant blood spirit and Lin Yuan were originally almost the same. This time, it was Lin Yuan who made the first move. Naturally, he caught up with the mutant blood spirit very quickly. For Lin Yuan, it was not difficult at all to open its bloody mouth and swallow the mutant blood spirit with the size of a normal person. He ate it. A heavy armor warrior who had been blown away by the mutant blood spirit looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Just a moment ago, the mutant blood spirit was invincible and had even chased the black snake all the way here. How could it be so easily swallowed by the black snake? The answer was impossible. After swallowing the mutant blood spirit, Lin Yuan realized that something was wrong before the system's familiar prompt sounded. However, at the next moment, waves of tearing feeling continued to spread throughout his body, making Lin Yuan feel even more pain than before. Stimulated by the intense pain, Lin Yuan's eyes flashed with ferocity. He immediately cast his gaze on the heavy armor warriors who had yet to recover. How many attribute points could a human in the airborne realm bring him? Would killing all 5 of them be enough for him to rise to level 10? It was obvious that the tearing feeling in his body was getting worse, and that mutant blood spirit should be gradually recovering. Even if Lin Yuan had one chance to heal all of his injuries in an instant, it might not be enough. Chapter 67. Enduring the pain and the desire to kill. Lin Yuan put all his remaining attribute points into defense. Host. Lin Yuan status. Big Black Snake. Evolvable. Realm. 9 out of 10 talent. 1. Identify enemy's location based on smell. Unable to evolve. 2. Create an accurate image of a 500-meter radius based on smell. 0/103. Water/ice control, 0 out of 100 speed, 14 defense, 14. 7 attack, 14 distributable points, 0 martial arts, golden body secrets, 40/75, skills, 1. Death coil, 34 of 302. Venom enhancement, 2 out of 103. Tail strike, 17 out of 100. Item. Light feather chance to molt X1 when Lin Yuan advanced to a level 9 monster. The dark gold color on the snake's body instantly faded, and it grew again, reaching an exaggerated length of 75 meters. Lin Yuan wasn't sure why he was a big black snake and not a big black python in the eyes of the system. The largest snake he knew of in his previous life was only the Titan python, with an average length of 9 to 13 meters. It was said that the largest one was only 15 meters. And this kind of huge monster in his previous life was like an earthworm in front of the current Lin Yuan. It wasn't even enough for him to eat. You're calling me a snake with this? Then the pythons of this world. However, Lin Yuan wasn't too conflicted. From the 5 heavy armor warriors who couldn't get up again, he randomly chose a lucky spectator and rushed to the opponent's side without hesitation, directly biting half of the opponent's body. Lin Yuan didn't have any intention of letting the other 4 go. Death coil 4 times in a row. Although Lin Yuan's technique couldn't do it, the system skills could adjust Lin Yuan's body. So, in the blink of an eye, the other 4 heavy armor warriors were directly entangled by Lin Yuan's huge snake body. However, the heavy armor on their bodies was something that could withstand the attacks of Wisdom Realm Great Demons. Regardless of whether it was Lin Yuan's bite or death coil, they were all firmly blocked by that layer of heavy armor. Although the rest of the heavy armor warriors wanted to come over and help. After Lin Yuan destroyed the cannon formation, the remaining Wisdom Stage Great Yao roared and charged into the battlefield. The already small number of heavy armor warriors became increasingly understaffed. Seeing that Lin Yuan was temporarily unable to deal with their 5 comrades, they all turned their attention to the remaining Great Yao. Under the suppression of Lin Yuan's terrifying power, the 5 human beings at the airborne realm did not even have a chance to struggle. They knew very well that although Lin Yuan couldn't do anything to them for the time being, they would be exhausted to death by Lin Yuan if they didn't have any water or food to replenish themselves. Boom! A loud noise was heard. Lin Yuan was entangled with the 5 heavy armor warriors. The snake's body kept slapping and thrashing on the ground. Even Lin Yuan's body had some bloody wounds from time to time. It was obvious that Lin Yuan was using a lot of force every time he hit the ground. At the moment, he was completely with the mentality of dying together with his enemies. In addition to Lin Yuan, who took the brunt of the impact head-on, and the 5 heavy armor warriors entangled by him, even a mutant blood spirit that was wreaking havoc in his body was affected at the moment. This, Jiao Shi and Min Du, who had been paying attention to Lin Yuan, could not help but click their tongues. What kind of grudge does this guy have with humans? He even resorted to such a self-destructive method just to kill 5 heavy armor warriors who were already seriously injured? Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points are awarded. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the first kill across a realm. 1 skill draw is rewarded. Under Lin Yuan's self-destructive attack, the first heavy armor warrior was quickly killed. The pleasant system prompt also sounded in Lin Yuan's ears. Without the slightest hesitation, Lin Yuan directly put all 5 attribute points on defense. The golden body secrets could only form a layer of golden body on the surface of the body, which would prevent a certain amount of damage from the opponent. Before the golden body was broken, it would also be immune to damage, such as broken limbs and bleeding. However, it was obvious that the golden body secrets was only a cultivation method given by the system. It was not so powerful that Lin Yuan would be invincible in the world if he mastered it. At the very least, his body was still a fatal weakness. However, one's own defense was a comprehensive data. It was not only the skin and muscles, but also the strength of the internal organs. Of course, if it were not for the existence of the mutant blood spirit in his body, Lin Yuan would have been more inclined to put the attribute points into attack or speed. After all, he was a predator, not a turtle. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points are awarded. Another system electronic voice sounded. Lin Yuan's eyes revealed a look of contemplation. Whether it was humans or monsters, even if a freak like Lin Yuan was excluded, there was still a gap between people of the same level. It was just like how cats were always the nemesis of snakes in the natural world. The second heavy armor warrior to die was obviously much stronger than the first heavy armor warrior, but the attribute points given by the system were all 5 points. Obviously, this was the malice of the Russian nesting doll system. It should be because Lin Yuan's realm had not yet reached the wisdom state, so the system deducted a portion of his attribute points. Otherwise, Lin Yuan would not have received different attribute points based on the strength of the level 9 monster when he killed it. Without hesitation, he put 3 attribute points into defense again. Lin Yuan's body expanded to a terrifying height of 100 meters again, and an inexplicable aura condensed on Lin Yuan's body. Demonic aura. Only monsters in the wisdom realm could condense demonic aura. When facing low-level monsters, monsters in the wisdom realm could simply release their own demonic aura and scare them to the point that they could not move. It was similar to the murderous aura that Lin Yuan had honed, and the bloodline pressure that the Jiao snake had released on Lin Yuan. However, this kind of strange aura could be used as a temporary control technique. Perhaps against those who had no desire to live, just the aura alone could control the other party until the moment of their death. However, like in the novels of his previous life, just the aura alone could cause the other party to explode and die. Obviously, it was not possible. Leveled up again, Minda saw that Lin Yuan had evolved from a level 9 demonic beast to a level 10 demonic beast in just a few minutes in front of him. His heart was greatly shocked, since one was leveling up as easy as drinking water for monsters. Moreover, this guy was a little too strange. At level 7, he could actively communicate with other monsters through his mind. Now that he had just reached level 10, he could condense the demonic aura that only monsters in the wisdom realm had. Didn't this mean that this guy could step into the wisdom realm at any time? Were the young monsters nowadays all so terrifyingly talented? Not only was Mendo shocked, but even the Jiao snake, who was at odds with Lin Yuan, had a cold look in its eyes. Chapter 68. Be it humans or monsters present, all of them were completely shocked by Lin Yuan's 2 consecutive breakthroughs in a short period of time. However, the difference was that the Gate Capital had some friendship with Lin Yuan. It believed that Lin Yuan would become a powerful ally of the Stone's Hard clan after he grew up. The Jiao Snake's thoughts were different. It had no friendship with Lin Yuan and even had some dirty thoughts about him. If a terrifying existence like Lin Yuan was allowed to grow, it might not be long before Lin Yuan devoured it. As for the humans, retreat. The human commander's face darkened as he called out to his subordinates. Then, he rushed toward Mountain Rampart City. Back when the mountain-shaking apes attacked Bailing Mountain City, they treated the city guards and the monster slayers as nothing. They even forced the previous city lord of Bailing Mountain City to sign many treaties. Until today, the monster slayers of Bailing Mountain City did not dare to step into the Hungduan Mountains easily. They only dared to collect some low-level spiritual items or hunt some low-level monsters near the monster forest. Therefore, the current city lord of Zhanshan City was actually sent here by the dynasty behind him. Moreover, he had brought along a large group of elite guards. The heavy armored warriors and artillery battalion that were gathered here were just a part of it. Originally, he wanted to take advantage of the birth of Blood Spirit to teach the Hungduan Mountain Range's demonic beasts a lesson and let them see clearly who is the true ruler of this continent. However, the mutation of the Blood Spirit and a black snake with almost invincible defense completely ruined their plan. Not to mention the fact that the other monsters in the Hungduan Mountains were coming to their aid. Just the fact that the Wisdom Realm monsters were no longer suppressed by the artillery alone was enough to make them stay here. Kill! A black tiger demon beast with shiny black fur roared angrily, leading most of the bloodthirsty and warlike demon beasts. They chased in the direction where the humans had fled. Obviously, the humans' blatant violation of the treaty had angered the predators in the Hungduan Mountains. It was unlikely that they would attack Bailing Mountain City again, but it was also impossible for the humans who entered the Hungduan Mountains to escape unscathed. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points gained. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points have been awarded. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points have been awarded. 3 consecutive system notifications rang in his ears. Only then did Lin Yuan loosen his grip on the 5 metal cans that had been completely smashed into mush. Once again, a look of contemplation appeared in his eyes. Damn system, just how many attribute points did it eat from him? When he was at level 8, he was able to gain 5 attribute points for killing an airborne realm human being. Now that he was at level 10, killing an airborne realm human being still gave him 5 attribute points? Roar! A loud and clear voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Ding! Detected the killing intent of the Wisdom State demonic beast, Jiao Snake. Activated promotion mission. Appearance of the Owl Snake. Name. Appearance of the Owl Snake description. The current host is already transformed into a level 10 demonic beast. One more step, and you will become a true demonic beast. You will also officially become one of the top predators in this stage of the Hungduan Mountains. Unfortunately, the host's previous words did not make the other party feel that the host was a junior with a strong personality. Instead, the other party was worried that the host would launch an attack after becoming a wisdom demonic beast. Therefore, the other party wanted to eliminate the host's existence before the host completely matured. Then, go and prove yourself. Tell these prey who the real predator of this forest is. Mission requirement. Kill the Jiao Snake and devour it. Mission reward. Activate the next promotion mission. Failure punishment. The host will completely lose the opportunity to advance. Lin Yuan turned his head in confusion and saw the dragon snake, whose body was longer and thicker than his own, rushing toward him at full speed. Its pair of bronze vertical pupils were full of killing intent. This promotion mission for appearance of the owl snake was obviously not that easy to complete. After all, Lin Yuan could rely on his body size to control the 5 heavily injured heavy armor warriors. Then, he could use the method of self-harm to injure each other. Then, he could use the power of the system to heal all injuries after the promotion to repair his own injuries. However, when facing a real wisdom state big monster, Lin Yuan had no advantage at all. Although Lin Yuan had added all his attribute points to the golden body technique, the moment the system notification sounded, there was still a small half of his 100-meter-long snake body that had not been tempered. Even if this Jiao snake had not become a Jiao dragon and did not have the ability to summon clouds, summon rain, or summon lightning, its physique was not something the current Lin Yuan could compare to. System, if I can't complete this mission, will I never be able to advance? Lin Yuan asked the system as he twisted his snake body to adjust his posture and prepare to dodge. This system's name is Hui, Infinite Evolution System. Its purpose is to make the host stronger and stronger, and eventually become the overlord of the universe. If the host is unable to complete this mission, the system will deprive the host of the evolution opportunity and begin to unbind the host. During the unbinding period, the host will lose all consciousness until the system is done. During this period, the system will not guarantee the host's safety. However, this system can give you a friendly reminder. Although the host is not a match for this Jiao snake, the system's mission does not prohibit external help. It will only affect the host's mission completion rating. Compared to your own life, there is no need for the host to value the reward so much. The system timely extinguished Lin Yuan's fantasy. If he could not complete the mission, the system would deprive him of the evolution opportunity. Even if he was lucky during the period when he was a plant snake and did not become food for any monster, after he woke up, he would only be a level 10 monster for the rest of his life. 2 years later, he might have to face the pursuit of the Broken Stone clan. If he could not complete this promotion mission, he would die. Helper! Lin Yuan's snake body rolled, crushing a large part of the forest. His blue and white vertical pupils suddenly fell on Mendu, who was not far away. There were a lot of wisdom state demons present, but only Mendu had a friendly relationship with Lin Yuan. Mendu, what you said before, does it still count? Lin Yuan wriggled his snake body closer to Mendu and used his mind to communicate with the other party. Old worm, if you move one more time, I'll take your life. Mendu's reaction was extremely fast. Almost as soon as Lin Yuan dodged the first attack of the Jiao snake, he turned into a white shadow and landed heavily beside Lin Yuan. He looked coldly at the Jiao snake, whose killing intent was aroused. As a member of this generation's overlord tribe, Mendu never thought that this Jiao snake would dare to attack the black snake that he said he would protect. Chapter 69. The flood dragon snake's bronze eyes flashed with a faint cold light. Whoosh! The tumbling flames instantly exploded and spread out in all directions. The flood dragon snake's talent was to control fire, and it seemed to be much better than Lin Yuan's. Lin Yuan had to ensure that there was water around him, or it was raining in order to perfectly display his talent. But this flood dragon snake could produce flames out of thin air. Mendu, I'm not afraid of your mountain-shaking ape clan, but are you sure you want to be an enemy of my noble dragon clan? The flood dragon snake, wrapped in flames, looked at Mendu coldly and had no intention of retreating. This black snake, which had advanced twice in a row in the blink of an eye, was extremely terrifying. If it could not be eliminated today, it was afraid that it would not be able to live in peace for a few days. For a dead black snake, the mountain-shaking ape clan would not completely fall out with it, an existence that had the opportunity to transform into a flood dragon. Roar! Mendu roared in response to the flood dragon snake. As a high-end fighting force among the overlords of this area, Mendu's temper was obviously not as good as it was in front of Lin Yuan. After confirming that the flood dragon snake was going to fall out, Mendu's body was covered with a layer of stone armor. He waved an incomparably huge stone stick in his hand and began to smash it towards the flood dragon snake. The flood dragon snake was naturally not to be outdone. Its thick snake body showed an agility that did not match its body. It thoroughly demonstrated the saying, "Hit the snake with the stick," vividly. Not only did the thick stone stick not cause any harm to it, but it was also entangled by the flood dragon snake and moved up along the stone stick in circles. Wherever the flood dragon snake went, it would immediately turn red. Obviously, the temperature was extremely high. However, Mendu had no intention of letting go. He just kept waving the stone stick in his hand, as if trying to throw the flood dragon snake away. However, the flood dragon snake's entanglement was obviously terrifying. It was as if it was one with the stone stick. No matter how Mendu waved the stone stick in his hand, he did not see the flood dragon snake slip away at all. It even continued to move up along the stone stick. Finally, the flood dragon snake climbed to the top of the stone stick, which was the area where Mendu was holding the stone stick with both hands. The flood dragon snake suddenly coiled up half of its body. A pair of bronze vertical pupils coldly looked at Mendu and said extremely coldly, "Mendu, you mountain-shaking apes only know a few tricks. Since you insist on being my enemy, then die." As soon as he finished speaking, the flood dragon snake suddenly opened its mouth and spat out a cluster of thick orange-red flames. Mendu was prepared for this. Obviously, not only did the flood dragon snake understand his fighting style, but he was also very familiar with the flood dragon snake's fighting style. Almost at the same time the orange-red flames were spat out, a huge stone wall rose in front of Mendu. The orange-red flames were loaded onto the stone wall and immediately spread to both sides. Although some of the hair on Mendu's arms were burnt, it did not hurt Mendu's vital parts. The mountain-shaking apes were not good-tempered creatures. When Demon Slayer entered the Hungduan Mountains to steal the cubs of the mountain-shaking apes, the entire Zhongshan city was trampled by them. Therefore, Mendu was naturally not an existence that would take a beating without fighting back. The moment the stone wall blocked the flames, 5 or 6 thick stone spikes suddenly rose from the ground and ruthlessly pierced into the flood dragon snake's soft abdomen. Yes, thick. Even with Lin Yuan's current snake body size of 100 meters, these connected stone thorns could still be regarded as thick and sturdy. If the same attack landed on his body, it could even tear apart half of his body. However, such an injury to a wisdom state great demon like the flood dragon snake would at most cause 3 or 6 holes in a human's body. However, if a human's body was not treated in time, they could lose their life at any time. However, for a great demon like the flood dragon snake, such an injury could be healed by half a day of rest. Lin Yuan flicked his tongue and coldly observed the battle between Mendu and the flood dragon snake. He had no desire to interfere in the battle between 2 wisdom state great demons. Even if he killed the flood dragon snake, he would only be rewarded with 5 attribute points from his system. Even if he did nothing and killed the flood dragon snake while watching Mendu kill it, he could still successfully complete the emergency mission. He would only lose 5 attribute points. He would not risk his life for such a small benefit. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully digested a level 10 spiritual body, mutated blood spirit. You have received 1 attribute point. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission Heaven Sent Opportunity. Option 1. Receive a chance to draw a blood type innate skill. You have received the status skill Calm Mind. Blood type innate skill is being drawn. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have received the blood type innate skill Blood Sacrifice Wishing Technique. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully digested the mutated energy within the blood spirit. You have received the blood boiling technique. A series of system notifications rang in his ears. Lin Yuan was shocked. When did this dog system become so generous? A mutated blood spirit actually gave him 2 skills? Blood Sacrifice Wishing Technique. The host can use attribute points or blood to make a wish. There's a chance of failure. The chance of failure is related to the difficulty of the wish and the number of sacrifices. For example, If the host wishes to become the overlord of the universe and only uses one attribute point to make a wish, the wish will fail 100% of the time. Blood boiling technique. After the host activates this skill, the host can enter a state where all attributes are doubled. This state can last for 3 minutes without any side effects. The cooldown time is 3 days. The system calmly gave the introductions of the 2 new skills. A buff that doubled all attributes without any side effects wasn't enough to surprise Lin Yuan. However, the blood sacrifice wishing technique made Lin Yuan's eyes light up. Cause a law skill. This was definitely the most terrifying skill. There was no other skill that could compare to it. As long as Lin Yuan could pay the price, becoming the overlord of the universe might really be something that could be achieved with a single wish. In addition to Lin Yuan, who was pleasantly surprised at this moment, the battle between Mindu and the snake had also reached its climax. Mindu's thick stone staff had been completely melted by the snake's flames. The snake's tail whipped Mindu 3 steps back. The snake's body was also covered with bloody holes of various sizes. It looked like it would die at any moment. However, its aura was very stable. It seemed like it had only suffered light injuries. Mindu's body was also covered with bite marks from the snake's fangs. However, his vitality was incomparably dense. It seemed like the more he fought, the braver he became. Lin Yuan's eyelids twitched. The vitality of a wisdom realm great demon far exceeded his imagination. Chapter 70. Lin Yuan even rejoiced that he did not choose to fight with the snake at the beginning. Instead, he let go of his greed and took the initiative to ask for help from Mindu. Blood sacrifice prayer technique. Lin Yuan did not hesitate at all and directly activated his newly acquired karma technique. 1/3 of his blood was drained by an inexplicable force. Even though Lin Yuan had a strong physique, he still felt dizzy and extremely weak. Everything in front of Lin Yuan's eyes turned black and white. This feeling of dancing with death was very strange, but he would never want to experience it again. However, with the sacrifice of 1/3 of a 10th grade demonic beast blood, the effect was remarkable. A thick layer of dark clouds instantly covered the sky, as if a heavy rain was brewing. Hey, old worm, it seems that even the heavens are not helping you. Mindu laughed and grabbed the snake that was trying to escape. An evil smile appeared on his ferocious face. All the demonic beasts thought that the sudden change in the weather was the will of the heavens. None of them paid attention to Lin Yuan, who was on the verge of collapsing. Even though a great demonic beast in the wisdom realm could condense some elemental energy out of thin air to change the weather, directly summoning a dark cloud was something that only a flood dragon could do. How could a 10th grade spirit awakening demonic beast do it? Mindu, I will remember today's grudge. The snake roared and crazily wriggled its body, trying to break free from Mindu's grasp. However, Mindu obviously didn't intend to let the snake go so easily. He held on tightly to the snake's body. Even though the webbing between his thumb and index finger had already been torn open by the snake's brute force, the snake body was still badly mutilated by Mindu's terrifying strength. This was reality, not a game. Even a great demonic beast in the wisdom realm, like the snake, could not survive after losing a part of its body. Whoosh! At this moment, a bright black light shot over. Lin Yuan focused his eyes and saw that it was a small black snake that was only 1 meter long. It did not look like a demonic beast that could appear in the Hungduan mountain range. After all, with its size, even in the demonic beast forest, it was definitely at the bottom of the food chain. However, after seeing the appearance of the small black snake, Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils suddenly shrank. A snake's body, a dragon's head, and a monstrous aura. This small black snake gave Lin Yuan a very familiar feeling, as if he had seen it somewhere before. Dove snake. The system's cold voice sounded, and Lin Yuan even felt a cold, killing intent rush to his head. Obviously, the Russian nesting doll system was not one to be taken advantage of. Even when facing its host, Lin Yuan, the system was thinking of ways to set a trap for him. Facing the dove snake, an existence that stole its power, it would be strange if the system did not show him any mercy. The dove snake's movements were extremely fast. Lin Yuan did not even have time to open his mouth to warn Min Do. The dove snake's body had already been pierced by the dove snake. It was right in the middle of the snake's head. However, the dove snake did not intend to directly pierce through the snake's head. The image of the olfactory imaging appeared in his mind. Lin Yuan felt a chill run down his spine. This dove snake was actually devouring the brain of the flood dragon snake. Moreover, as time passed, the dove snake's aura seemed to be gradually rising. It was not the feeling of a rapid increase in strength, but more like it was recovering its strength. That's right. Lin Yuan suddenly understood. This dove snake had separated 4 bones from its body and given them to the rank 9 martial artist. It was obvious that it had come for him. It had probably heard that there was an ancient black snake in the demon beast forest. Therefore, it had thought that he had the blood of the dragon clan in his body. Therefore, it wanted to devour him to advance further. However, after the dove snake bone spear had scratched Lin Yuan, it did not steal the dragon blood that Lin Yuan did not have. Instead, it stole a part of the system's power, and then it was directly blown up by the system's power. Losing 4 dove snake bones was not a fatal injury for this legendary creature that could sneak into the dragon clan's nest and devour an adult dragon clan, but it was definitely a serious injury. It had attacked the snake, not because it was kind and wanted to help Lin Yuan and Min Do. Although the dragon snake had not completely evolved, it still had the blood of the dragon clan in its body. Devouring such an existence would not have the same effect as devouring the dragon clan, but it would definitely allow its strength to gradually recover. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have completed the first stage of the mission Evil Snake. The dragon snake that wanted to kill you has been completely killed. Now the host's priority is to devour the dragon snake's flesh and obtain the dragon blood in the dragon snake's body to enter a new realm. Otherwise, the host will forever lose the ability to evolve. The system's cold voice sounded. The first part was the system's notification that the mission had been completed, but the latter part, Lin Yuan simply thought that the system was being petty and gave him a fancy job. It wanted him to deal with the dove snake that was devouring the brain of the dragon snake. The dove snake was able to kill the Wisdom Realm Great Demon in one hit, even if it was a weak Great Demon. It was clear that the dove snake's strength was not ordinary, and it also had the dragon blood. It could directly use the dragon blood to suppress Lin Yuan for a short period of time. In a battle between experts, 2 or 3 moves were enough to kill. Between high-level monsters, it was naturally the same. In that short period of suppression, if the dove snake suddenly attacked him, it would have no problem killing him in one hit. But at this time, Lin Yuan did not have much time to think. After a short moment of hesitation, Lin Yuan directly flew out and bit the dragon snake's body that was completely cold. His blue and white vertical pupils flashed with a cold light. A thing that offended the system actually dared to intercept it? Do you think that I, Lin Yuan, have no temper? Or do you think that the Russian nesting doll system has no temper? Rumble, accompanied by the sound of thunder, Lin Yuan directly launched the attack. With the right time, place, and people, what else did he have to worry about? Just do it. Drops of rainwater gradually changed shape under Lin Yuan's control, forming a thick and long transparent chain that directly wrapped around the dragon snake's head. In the next moment, Lin Yuan's mind moved, and the transparent chain instantly twisted the dragon snake's head into a pile of minced meat. The black dove snake was forced out, but it did not fall to the ground. It strangely hung in midair. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.